got Texas and Oklahoma coming to the SEC, and we've got a 12-team playoff. I mean, it's going to be maybe the most interesting year in the history of college football.
Yeah, one of them for sure. I would agree with you. I don't know who I would bet on. I think I would bet on Oklahoma being the more stable. And look, total wins all time, they're separated by 4. So chances are over the next 25 years, this is only going to be separated by a couple of wins. But I would say Oklahoma probably. That'd be the one I would bet on.
Always amazes me when you have big rivals like that are so close. Like, isn't it the Cubs and the Cardinals? Wasn't it like tied forever?
Yeah, and if you look, I don't know what all-time wins were. I've still got all-time wins pulled up where Auburn and Georgia are. But if you go, there was a time where the all-time score in Auburn, Georgia, like if you just add up each team's score, was separated by like 4 points.
Yeah.
They'd played together so long. Georgia is 11th all-time wins. Auburn is 18th. So Georgia's got 881. Auburn's got 799. Michigan, Ohio State are pretty close. They're only separated by 60 wins. Michigan, 1,004 wins. Ohio State, 964. I don't know how many of these. I don't know how this is affected by, vacations and stuff like that. So anyway, Oklahoma, our team today, will have another one tomorrow. As we get out of here, Michelson Laser Vision. Lance helped you get that vision back.
Yeah, make sure you make the phone call that I made. If you wear the glasses or contacts, you've been procrastinating, stop procrastinating. Make the call today, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with an absolutely free consultation. 0 to lose. Find out if LASIK is right for you. Also ask about the pre-inflation pricing. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Again, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, we look forward to being at the Rickwood Field tonight. Check us out on social media at Next Round Live. You've got a Pennant Grace coming up. You've got a meltdown coming up later on at Disrupt the Media. And don't forget, as we mentioned, War Down Pods, Roll Tide Pods, always great programming there for you Auburn and Alabama fans. Give us a thumbs up before you get out of here on YouTube. Make sure you've subscribed and set your alerts so you know when we're live with you all the time. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Welcome in. It's Friday. On the next round, along with Lance Taylor, I'm Ryan Brown. Dunaway wrapping up his vacation today. He will be back with us next week, not tomorrow. We're not doing anything tomorrow that I'm aware of. Rockstar is here. Lunceford, Forrester, Tyler, Little T on social media. We got the whole crew here, and we thank you for being here as well. The day after a pretty remarkable night for us on this show and for us in this city. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect, but I would say this exceeded my expectations last night.
Yeah, I really don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
We were doing some hits, social media-wise, from outside of Rickwood last night, some things inside. And we were talking to our friend Mick Gillespie, who joined us on set yesterday, and I said, this energy, it actually reminds me of kind of an SEC tailgate.
It felt like it, yeah. A lot of, there was a band out there playing. Everybody was just having a good time. Hitting some Bud Lights and Budweisers and really good burger, by the way, and good hot dogs.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you because they said they had like a throwback 40s menu. I ended up not getting any of the food.
I didn't know it was throwback 40s.
That's what they said.
Oh, really?
I didn't really see a theme, did you?
It was hamburgers and hot dogs. Do they have those in the 40s?
I think they did.
Okay, then I guess it was throwback.
We all met up here, and we got picked up in an Uber, and I was joking with our Uber on the way, and I said, you drop a lot of people off where we're going. And he was like, tonight, a bunch. And he already had his route, and he dropped us, a block? But right when we got out of the Uber last night, you could hear the music.
Yep.
You could,
You could just kind of feel the energy.
Yeah, it was a weird excitement last night. And then you kind of, everybody files in, and you're on the third base side of Rickwood Field. And it's basically set up, I don't know, in a bad way to say it, or a bad analogy, maybe like Oklahoma, Texas, the fairgrounds.
Yeah. I mean, a smaller version of that, obviously. Yeah.
I mean, it was a huge festival.
It was,
and I ran into so many people I have not seen in forever. I mean, it seemed like a good majority of Birmingham was there, and I think this will be one of those things. As it gets further out, everybody will say, "I was there."
Yeah, I think you'll get that. Like, oh yeah, I was there for that first game. Well, I hope it's only the first game. I hope this is the way we reference it. The first game with the Cardinals and the Giants played.
Some 8-year-old right now who went to the SEC baseball tournament at the Met, in 50 years is going to be telling his grandkids. He'll get a little confused. Yeah, I remember I was at that game.
Oh, yeah, 100% I was there. Scott showing you some video, a little tee shot from the stands there. That's the vantage point from where we sat. Thank you, Budweiser, for tremendous seats there.
I want to say there was a moment when we got to our seats, and you pointed down, you were like, hey, there's Griffey Jr. And I looked, and for a second, you had a conversation. I cannot make this up. Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, and Derek Jeter.
Yep.
Those three guys standing in Birmingham on a random Thursday night.
Yeah, Scott's showing you video of the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. That's him just going up and down the Giants dugout. I believe was that the Giants dugout or the Cardinals?
It was.
The Giants dugout.
And I told you last night, I was like, he still has the smile of an 8-year-old.
He does. It's just like seeing a kid out there.
It's
they call him the kid, yeah.
But when you look, and all this is subjective, everybody talks about Willie Mays is the best player in Major League Baseball history. Maybe that's the case. But I feel confident saying when you've got Jeter, you've got Ken Griffey Jr., and you've got Barry Bonds, that is 3 of the top 15 players of all time.
I don't disagree with you. Yeah, all in one place. And there were many others there. Big Papi, A-Rod.
And that was the thing. Like, we're not even talking about these guys.
I know.
Because, Ryan Howard was a great player for years, won a championship with the Phillies. But when you start looking at those guys, I mean, it felt like we were in an all-star game in the late 90s.
Yeah, I would agree 100% with you on that, and that they decided to do in an old stadium. Ross in the MyBookie.ag chat room, how were concessions? Were the lines awful? No, they were not, because they were prepared for it. And, I mean, that's the takeaway. I know when we do events like this in the city of Birmingham, almost always the takeaway is how unprepared Birmingham was for it. They were not unprepared for this. The old concession stands, they knew, this was, again, built for the 1910s.
You know why?
Why what?
I'm just guessing.
Why what?
Birmingham stereotypical gets a lot of these events wrong because I think Birmingham's in charge of most of them. I think Major League Baseball and Fox were in charge of this
I don't think there's any doubt that Major League Baseball took the lead on this one, but they had built concession tents all along the perimeter.
And there was one hidden gem. I don't know if you noticed, but everybody was going to like the Budweiser.
Yeah.
Because I guess you would naturally gravitate there if you're going to get a beer. But there were, between the concession stands, there was a market. And the market had all the beer you wanted, and nobody was in line.
I know. And it was just you and Little T. I was you and Little T and EG went through there, and y'all came out with stuff, and I'm still, just waiting to get my hot dog.
Yeah.
But no, they had built, like, to Lance's point, once you entered that perimeter, which was just outside the third baseline, you were inside. That was it. There was no other ticket check. So along the perimeter, they had built a tent city, basically, that was the merch shop. Now, that had a long line for merch, but, I mean, this is probably one-of-a-kind merch. I mean, you're not going to buy it anywhere else, so I kind of expected a long line there. But then you had concessions all along the perimeter there, and the lines moved quickly. I mean, I had no issue whatsoever, and as you know, I went several times. You and I both went several times.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Look, and the menu might have been 40s. The pricing wasn't.
The pricing was 20. Yeah, it was 2024.
I will say the only thing that really bothered me about last night, and I think it was 99.9% positive, but the thing that did bother me, whoever the credit card was, the company that was running, Rocky, like if you go up and like my first order was Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, and EG got her a frozen lemonade. Like out of the Minute Maid.
Yeah.
Like I really felt like I was with my kids. But I get those three, and the girl tells me, she was like, because you put the card in and it pops up, 10%, 15%, 20% or other. And she said, we can't get any of these tips tonight. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, they're not going to tip us out. The company running the credit cards is going to take all the tips.
I like how she's telling everybody.
Oh,
that.
yeah. She made sure you knew. Yeah.
I thought, though, that she might just be saying this where we would bring cash for whatever reason. But then the buzz got out and you started hearing people talking about it. And so nobody was tipping.
Oh, wow.
Well, they were. I tipped cash, so when I got.
But if you couldn't tip cash, nobody was going to tip on their credit card because they wanted to go to the credit.
Yeah.
I mean, the people standing out there in 95 degrees weren't getting paid.
Yeah.
I take that back. They weren't getting those tips.
They weren't getting tips, yeah. And that was pretty low rent there. I agree 100%. But so I had already paid for my hot dog when Lance told me that, and I'd already hit the tip button. So the next time I went to get my hamburger, I tapped the card, and the guy reaches down and hits no tip. And he was like, we're not getting these tips. So I just, I whipped out a $5 and gave him a $5. And, thankfully I had some cash on me.
Yeah, that would be the only thing that I would say was a little strange
that's
last
low
night.
rent.
Everything was absolutely fantastic, though.
The people are asking about transportation now. We
Don't blame it
Ubered
on me.
down.
Yeah.
No, I'm not blaming anything on you.
Okay.
We Ubered down to a location just outside the perimeter that somebody had said this is the best drop-off spot because there was some confusion about the rideshare drop-off actually being inside the perimeter and the Ubers couldn't get in there. So we tried to avoid that. But it was only 2 blocks. It was a Church's Chicken, like 2 blocks away from Rickwood. And like I said, as soon as we got out of the Uber, you could feel the buzz. I mean, you knew you were there, right? And when we left, there was actually a rideshare lot that was outside the perimeter, and it went as smooth as silk. They were shuttling back and forth to Legion Field if you parked on your own, and, they had, 10 buses stacked up waiting on people? So I'm going to assume that went smoothly, but I wasn't around because we left early.
I heard there might have been a little delay.
Well, probably.
And I know everybody likes to joke about me leaving early, and I typically do.
It was a group decision.
But a lot of that is to beat the traffic. But last night there was no way we were going to roll the dice on an Uber by staying through the entirety of the game. What was weird is that game was really stretching out. I know Little T at mybookie.ag jumped in on that total after they started scoring some runs in the third and fourth inning, and she got a live bet at 13.5.
How did that go?
She lost that 6-5. But, yeah, the scoring ceased after Little T jumped on that.
Yeah.
But I thought what was more interesting, I thought we would at least get an inning in when we got home. And when I got home, the game was already over.
Yeah, I noticed that, too. I thought I was going to get home and watch the end. I got home, and Fox 6 News was already on. I was like, holy crap, what's going on here? Smuff in the mybookie.ag chat room. It didn't look great on TV at times. Seemed like seats were empty a lot. I had some people ask me about that. They're like, I see empty seats on TV. I thought this was a hard sellout. It was. I think there were 2 things at play there. You had some sections that had like groups of Boys and Girls Club, and they were frequently taking them out to go do something. And then you had a section that was some of the Negro League players, and they were frequently taking them out to go do something. So,
well, and I think
those are all behind the plate.
I don't know if you noticed this. That there was a moment where it was our friends from AB, me, you, Little T, and EG, And then, EG disappeared and went and sat with royalty.
I'm going to tell that story in a moment. Yes.
But then some more guys would come over. So, like, we had all this room, and then you didn't have a lot of room. And what I noticed were people would run into people they hadn't seen in a while. Yeah. People were jumping seats left and right.
They were, and there were just a lot of people just walking around taking it all in.
Yeah.
So when everyone was seated, it was a packed house. Trust me. I mean, they were packed in.
And you would get caught up on stuff like when the old players were getting, some were legitimately getting wheeled out.
Yeah.
And I was underneath when you come into the portal, and all of the San Francisco Giants players were going up and like having one-on-ones and like bending down and really having conversations. And it was just so cool to see that interaction. So I rolled on that. I got that to little T. But I think a lot of people just got stopped in their tracks.
Yeah.
Whether they were, you and I are talking to Kurt Bloom, the longtime voice of the Birmingham Barons. And when we turn around to walk off, you're like, hey, man, Derek Jeter just passed you.
I was talking to CB.
I can talk to Kurt Bloom any day of the week.
Poor CB. We're talking to CB, and we're on our way to get a drink, Rockstar. And I wrap up my part of the conversation and turn around to walk away and basically almost run into Derek Jeter. And Lance is still there. And I know Lance is a big, baseball fan. I don't know if you've ever seen Jeter out in the wild. And Lance wraps up his convo. I said, Derek Jeter just walked right behind you. He goes, no, he didn't. And I said, there he is right there. And it was no further than me to the glass wall over there, Derek Jeter.
Get himself a hot dog, I bet.
But the crazy thing is they were just walking
Derek
just
Jeter,
around
Ken
the
Griffey
crowd.
Jr., just walking around in the crowd like nobody, and didn't seem bothered at all by it. They seemed happy to do it.
The only thing that I can relate this to is I've been to spring training a few times.
Right.
Now, it's been a long time. But when you go to spring training, these guys are very accessible.
Here's what I will say is, and this I think would put it into context of what it was like to be in the stadium last night. And I hate it for people that wanted to go that didn't get to go. I hope you watched it on TV. I went back when I got home, I DVR'd it, and I shuttled through some. It looked fantastic on TV. I thought Fox did a tremendous job of presenting it. I haven't watched the part yet where they did the inning in black and white and made it sound old. But people are raving about how cool that was.
Yeah, I mean, see you and Buff right now on the mybookie.ag chat. Throwback broadcast in the fifth was very nice.
Yeah.
Crusty in the top of the fifth inning, black and white broadcast and distortion of the announcer's voices, really cool.
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of people say that was pretty sweet, but I haven't seen that part yet. I was going to shuttle through later on and watch that, but the way I would put it in perspective is Scott's got a screenshot of what it looked like. They even used like that old school graphic at the bottom.
I'm glad he went Ramos. Ramos' oppo shot in the third.
The pop fly that got out of there
was one of the weirdest things. I don't know what it looked like on TV, Forster, but it really looked like a 9-iron leaving the tee because not only did it have the height, it had a little bit of slice to it. And I don't know how it got out of the park, but that was one of the strangest live home runs I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, on video, it looked like a pop-up.
It was. It was. I don't know if the ball just carries at Rickwood.
But you notice Fox brought in lights to put on top of the old lights.
Right.
That was one of those, if they would have had the old school lights, it goes above the lights. And even if it's a routine warning track, you probably get that thing lost above the lights.
Yeah, I don't know if the ball just carries at Rickwood, Scott. I know they were saying that on the telecast, but that ball carried. That was a pop-up in every Major League stadium. It's an out.
Well, did they say anything about Power Alley left center? Because there were a couple of balls hit to left center that were mashed, and they ended up being like 20 feet short. So I don't know if that was...
Maybe it just carries to right better?
Possibly. Dead on 400 in center, but I'm just wondering what the dimension was in that Power Alley.
They talked about the old wall. I think it was 479 dead center in the old wall. You think you had any homers there?
I mean, how fast did you have to be as a center fielder?
Well, Willie Mays, there's your answer. That's how fast you had to be.
You know what I found out last night, and this is going to date him, but, right when we walked in, we ran into our friend Frank Bromberg.
Yep.
And this is a really cool story because Frank and I share a birthday. And not the same year,
different
of course.
year, I was going to point out.
But he was telling me that he was in his mom's womb at that World Series game when Willie Mays made the catch.
Are you serious? In San Francisco? Was that in San Francisco, or was that in...
I think it was in Brooklyn, maybe.
Brooklyn, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because
so
his
mom
dad
was at the game,
huh? His dad was in school or doing maybe grad school in New York. But his mom was pregnant with Frank, and he was actually at the game.
Do you claim you were at the game?
Yeah, you got to claim it, right?
Do you say that, Rockstar, like years I was at that game?
Technically you were.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, by my belief, you were. I think you're alive then.
I mean, that's kind of a cool story. Now, it does put a little age on my man Frank, but...
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that, 58?
54.
54?
Yeah.
Let's hear what some of the people. Well, first of all, Johnston RV Center. Let me tell you about them, and then Rockstar. Let's do cuts 2 and 3. Let's do 2 and 4. 2 and 4. Rockstar cuts 2 and 4. Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. A lot of numbers I'm throwing out here. But that's where you find them. They have repriced both those lots, and they're so confident in their pricing at Johnston RV Center that they give you a nationwide price guarantee. They'll beat any price on a comparable RV nationwide. All you have to do is bring them that price. They will beat it. That is their guarantee. Also, you brave men and women that have served in the United States military, whether active duty or retired veterans, they give you a great discount as a small way of saying thank you. See more, JohnstonRVCenter.com, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, JohnstonRVCenter.com. All right, here is Cardinals manager Ali Marmol asked about just last night and the atmosphere at Rickwood Field for a Major League Baseball game.
Obviously, a lot of the talk was about the ballpark for tonight's game, but also the atmosphere felt, I mean, there's a lot of neutral fans, but there are a lot of Cardinals and Giants fans. What was the atmosphere like from the field perspective?
It was fun. Not that many, like the stadium's small, but it felt like the feeling of it was pretty cool. The pregame ceremonies were incredible. During that time, I mean, I'll be honest, I got emotional just standing there, knowing where you're standing and just the overall feel of the tribute to Willie Mays, and just like, man, the impact he had on people that he met, but also people that he never met, and that's when you know you've done it right, when you can have that type of influence. So the ceremonies were incredible; they really were.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, like, the game was almost a sidebar.
Yeah, no, I think the game was.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't peg who asked the question there. But could you tell who asked the question right there?
No, I have no idea. I assumed it was a national person or maybe a St. Louis person. Why?
Well, I was just going to say, I saw a lot of people that weren't from Birmingham.
Oh, I did too,
Like
yeah.
when we were leaving, when we got that Uber out, I was talking to those guys, and they were from Portland, Oregon.
I know. They'd come in for the game for Portland.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you're a huge, and these are two great baseball fan bases,
No
if you're
doubt.
a huge Giants or Cardinals fan, and you know about this for the last year plus, I mean, it would be a cool place to. I know people are like Birmingham.
Well, I know.
But just because of the history of that field, 114 years old.
And think about it. Like, if you live in the Southeast and you're a Giants fan, and Giants are it's a pretty big fan base there. A lot of Giants fans out there. I mean, you don't often get a chance to drive to see your team, so I think you would do that, right? Same reason I go see the Dolphins in Nashville or Atlanta. I don't get a chance to see them a lot. But I saw a lot of gear, like a lot of and I know the Cardinals are a pretty popular team, and the Giants both. I saw a lot of Cardinals and Giants gear there, and I just assumed not all those people were from Birmingham, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think, maybe some kids, like, your kid might say, hey, will you get me a Cardinals T-shirt or a Giants jersey to wear to the game? But a lot of adults wearing this, I wouldn't think they would just order it to go to the game. So I know talking and hearing in some different interviews and stuff, there were people from Canada. I mean, there were people from all over the place.
There were. Bob Melvin, actually, and I was unaware of this until last night, played in the Southern League back in the day. So when the modern day Barons were still playing at Rickwood Field, he actually played on that field, which had to be pretty full circle for him.
Did you ever go watch the Barons there?
I never. That was the first game I have ever seen at Rickwood. I played in I almost said celebrity game.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's silly to call it that, but it was what it was. But do you remember? I think you played the game too. Were you not in it?
No, I've never played in those softball games.
It was before. Do you remember when they did the Southern League All-Star game? Was it? They either did it there or they did it in Birmingham.
I remember when it was.
Yeah.
I remember I was out of town when that was going on.
Okay, yeah. So me and Dunaway played in it. We were on the same team as James Spann and Mike Royer. If that tells you anything.
Boy, I bet y'all got worked.
I don't even remember the five. I remember it came down to a home run derby. It was a tie game. It came down to a home run derby, and we picked Tyler Watts, and the other team had Stan White. And Stan could mash.
Oh, I was about to say, I guarantee you Stan
could mash,
man.
Yeah. I mean, he hit some bombs.
I know Tyler's a great athlete, but Stan could play anything and everything. But anyway, when I was a kid, I went to a few games down there. It was when I first got introduced, even before Old Fulton County, to the soft serve in the helmet of choice.
I used to love that.
And I was that kid that would be like, hey, I see a Mariners helmet. Can you like do that? And they're like,
who wants a
time for
Mariners
your
helmet?
ass?
Just take the Braves and shut up.
But it was such a relaxed atmosphere. I remember like on that side that we were on last night, the left side, like you could just kind of run around there as a kid.
Yeah.
Saw Frank Thomas there. I think that was the last championship they won in Rickwood was 1987.
Right. So the Big Hurt was probably the biggest name you saw there.
Yeah. Well, Bo Jackson played there with the Memphis Chicks.
Yeah, with the Chicks.
Jose Canseco played there with the Huntsville Stars.
In fact, half of they've done the math. Half of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame played at Rickwood Field. That's pretty
amazing,
remarkable
man.
to think about. Half of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, roughly half, played
They've got to keep this thing alive.
I agree completely. Here is Bob Melvin, who played there himself, talking about the experience last night from the Giants manager.
Was there one moment that was maybe your favorite or most memorable from this experience?
Well, I mean, everything from meeting the players from the past before the game, kind of touring the clubhouses, and just the whole experience in general. The pageantry before the game, the players that were here, the star players, of the current game, that guys that I've, Chris Young's here. I played with Derek Jeter, and Justin Usman was here, and Albert Pujols was here, and this game had a lot. It was more of a playoff type feel than anything else.
Yeah, I did. I would agree 100% with that, and just a really cool experience from top to bottom. My suggestion, I made it on social media.
I would even say this. I don't know how you feel.
Okay.
But, if this game if they had another one, if they would have played the whole series in Birmingham and I had a ticket again, I think I would go back tonight.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like if it was a 2-game set.
Yeah, and trust me, if we were in Atlanta and I had tickets to the second game, I'd be like,
Yeah. I'd do it again tonight.
Yeah.
My suggestion last night, and I made this very late on social media, and Buster, I was texting with Buster last night because he texted me. He was like, how was the game? He texted me, he said, the game looked amazing on TV. How was it in person? I was like, I can't tell you how amazing it looked on TV, but I can tell you it was amazing in person. And Buster's like, I really want them to continue to do this. He's like passionate about it. He said it on the show yesterday, if you heard Buster, and he's super passionate about it because he was texting me about it. And I started thinking about it. And last night, here was my suggestion. Do this every year at Rickwood Field. Maybe pick out, a Negro League player that you want to make the focus.
You got plenty of them.
You got
Satchel
tons
Paige,
of them.
Josh Gibson. Pick your guy.
Yeah, pick out a guy, make him the focus of it. Chances are he's going to have passed on because those guys are getting really, really old. But you bring back the history, you educate people on who that player was, and you focus on him, and you call it the Say Hey Classic. That's all you got to do. Just call it Say Hey Classic. It might be the Kansas City Royals wearing their throwbacks for whatever the
Monarchs.
The Monarchs. And, Cleveland wearing their throwback for the Clowns, I think it was.
Well, here's what I would hope, though. I hope that, and I think Fox does a great job. I was talking about NBC, and I really didn't love the U.S. Open coverage. And I really don't like NBC's coverage of anything, to be honest with you. But I think Fox does a great job basically with everything they do. But I'd like to see a little rotation because I'd love to see a baseball historian like Buster be able to be part of this.
Yeah, I agree completely with you. But I would just call it the Say Hey Classic. Do this every year. I think everything was spot on in Major League Baseball. In fact, I even thanked the commissioner.
He did.
Was that awkward?
We were both walking.
The rule on this,
I'm your fill-in, but we were walking.
I'm your fill-in
to the bathroom and to get drinks, and literally Rob Manfred is walking. He's down. We're coming down
a ramp. Yeah.
And him and I guess it was a Fox executive. Might have been his wife with him.
I don't know. Some handler, Fox executive, his wife.
But Brown's like, "Hey, Commissioner."
No, I go, Rob. I called him Rob. I go, Rob, and he stops and turns, and I said, "Thank you for coming to Birmingham."
And he just gave the old thumbs up.
Yeah. I played here once at a celebrity tournament.
Celebrity softball.
Anything about the field? Just ask.
He smiled, gave me a thumbs up. I thought, I just wanted to, on behalf of Birmingham, I felt like at that moment I was representing the city of Birmingham. I wanted to thank Rob Manfred for coming to Birmingham.
Yeah, look, our city is incredible. It is my favorite city. I've got a lot of pride with this city, but we do a lot of things wrong here. Mm-hmm. We get a lot wrong. Everything was done right last night.
Well, that's what I would say. Just the part I have seen on Fox, and you guys that stayed at home and watched it on Fox, I thought it was the best foot forward our city could possibly put forward. And on a national scale, I think nationally, it was the biggest event in America last night. There was nothing else going on in sports. Just other random Major League Baseball games played in normal stadiums. The NBA Finals are over. The NHL Stanley Cup goes back tonight. The College World Series is on. I mean, there was nothing else going on. That was the biggest event in America last night. And it, to me, made the city of Birmingham look spectacular. And that's all I hoped for it, was that when people watch nationwide, they're like, Birmingham, did they have a bad past? Yeah, they did. Do we have a preconceived notion of Birmingham? Yeah, but boy, when I watch this, my preconceived notion doesn't seem right. That looks like a beautiful place, and it looks like everybody, black, white, whatever color, was there in the stands celebrating everything about it.
Yeah,
and that's what it was.
You know, our listeners that actually won the tickets from us on, was it Tuesday?
Yeah.
They were actually sitting in front
That's
of us
right,
and had
one row
some
in front of us.
great conversations with them.
Yeah. So there you go. That was last night. There is one more part of the story we've got to tell, and it involves EG, who unfortunately isn't here to tell her part of the story because she's in Tuscaloosa doing some next round business. And she's not here to tell the story, so we will tell the story. And Rockstar, I think you're going to enjoy it. That is next on the next round. As we go to break, I remind you, Greg from Pell City. He is the guy that can get up on your roof and do that risk-free roof inspection. He's not going to charge you anything to take a look at your roof. If you think your roof is old and needs replaced, or if you think there has perhaps been storm damage. He works with the insurance companies as well to make sure you get treated right there. Storm Restoration Roofing is the name of his company. Storm Restoration Roofing. He's Greg Nelson. Greg from Pell City, and that's where you find him on Facebook if you want to reach out to him there. Or you can call him, 205-542-3531. That's 205-542-3531. Greg from Pell City, Storm Restoration Roofing. How does Rockstar factor into last night? That is next.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or michelson-laservision.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
We continue on the Next Round, looking back for a few more moments at last night's game here in Birmingham. The Giants and the Cardinals playing in Rickwood Field. Rockstar, are you in concert at Odie's this weekend?
I am not. I'm at the Birmingham Country Club this weekend.
Oh, look at you. That's very close to Odie's, though.
Over by the pool, yes.
Yeah. So I tell you what, if you go see Rockstar, I'm sure people will be just kicking the door in there at the Birmingham Country Club. After you leave there, you can go for a nightcap over at Odie's Tavern, the original location at Crestline, where we do Odie's Team Trivia every single Wednesday night. The newest location in Edgewood, corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Enjoy great food from Rodney Davis. He's been doing it for over 33 years. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, including that Diablo sandwich, ice cold beer buckets full of Budweiser and Bud Light. Stop in, go see the fine folks at Odie's Tavern, both locations, all weekend long.
So it was myself, Lance, Little T, and EG at the game last night. And as we mentioned, we sat with our friends from Anheuser-Busch. Great seats. You saw the view from our seats. Third base line. Well, we row 13, so 13 rows up from the field. I shouldn't even say third base line. Basically, right behind the batter's box, the right-handed batter's box. And real quick,
that was the first old venue I've been in since the LA Coliseum. And the interesting thing is all the concrete steps, and I know this is probably part of the foundation, I'm not an architect, are like this high.
Yeah.
And, we're so much bigger, at least height-wise, than we were 50, 60 years ago. It just seems weird that steps were like double a normal step. You
know what I couldn't get away from? What I couldn't quit thinking about is the fact that, the Black Barons, they played day games. There were, that was primarily what they played. And I think
in wool.
In wool. And the fans were dressed to the nines most of the time.
Like our man Mick Gillespie.
Like Mick Gillespie.
We have a picture of Mick?
I don't know if Scott's got the photo of Mick, but it was fantastic. There's Mick. He's got video of Mick. Rockstar, have you seen it yet? Have you seen what Mick was in? You're going to pull it up? You got to pull it up. It was fantastic. It looked like...
He looked like one of the barbershop quartet guys.
Yeah. It looks like Mick's about to sing some 4-part harmony for us. But I started thinking about, they were playing Sunday afternoon games, and they were all dressed like Mick. They got on a tie and a coat.
Oh, my. Is he talking like this, you see?
Yeah.
Baseball games.
Yes. So, think about that. And there were Sunday afternoon games. Do you know how hot it was? And I don't know what concessions were back then. Like, you didn't have bottled water. Did they just sit out there and swelter, not having anything to drink?
I don't know.
Think about that. Think if you sat all that game last night.
They had their salt tablets back in the day.
Think if you sat in that game in a coat and tie and you never had anything to drink.
No.
We were pounding drinks where we sat.
Yeah,
I had to be miserable, but
I stayed hydrated with the Bud Light last night.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I will say that the beer was extremely cold. They had them just doused in ice.
Again, nothing they did wrong. So EG Rockstar, after we get in, disappears for a little bit. And at one point, it's me, Lance, and Taylor. We're talking with Mick was sitting behind us. We had all our Anheuser-Busch friends. And I said to somebody, has anybody seen EG lately?
Well, she came back for a second.
Right.
And that's when she told me, hey, I ran into the mayor and his wife.
The mayor?
And they are so nice.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think I probably could get on the field. And I was like, well
go get on the field.
Yeah. And so then the next thing you know.
The next thing I know, we can't find EG. And we're like, where is she? And I'm the one thing that, and it is not a complaint, I'm fine with it, but the AT&T cell service, you couldn't get text in and out.
You know what's crazy?
Couldn't get text in the 50s.
I know. That's true. That's a good point. It's a very throwback.
The big sponsor, like all the sponsorships in the outfield look throwback except for the T-Mobile. And I'm T-Mobile, and I can't get a T-Mobile signal anywhere except there last night.
I know.
And I guarantee you T-Mobile had something to do with that.
I couldn't get a text to go out, and Lance is like, oh, watch this guy flip this golf cart. He's like watching all these all his videos that he loves. So we're like, where is EG? And she had texted us, but I couldn't get the text. Or he texted me, but I couldn't get the text. And Taylor goes, there she is right down there. She says she's sitting next to the governor. And sure enough, EG, and at the end of the row is...
I want to see baseball and some Cracker Jacks.
I was shocked that she was there.
Sing it. Like,
take me out to the ball game. What's your name, Egg? Your Egg? Fairly attractive.
Do you think she was in a pantsuit, Rockstar?
Oh, you got to wear a pantsuit for the Rickwood Classic.
Yeah, Lance is loving this setup. So here's what comes next.
Well, so we're sitting there, and I look down, and an inning goes by, and no EG. And I'm like, she's sitting by herself. Like, Kay Ivey was on the end of the row, but the Woodfins or whoever EG had met were not around her. So EG's sitting in a seat, empty seat to her left, empty seat to her right. And I was like, She just wants to be in the seats with the backs, and she wants to be on the camera,
right?
And she's not hanging out with us.
But she comes back and she's like, I was sitting with Governor Ivey, and she goes, I was sitting with Governor Ivey, but I was sitting next to her, I don't know, her, like the main person with
pool
her.
Boy.
It's not pool boy. It's like he works for the governor's office. He's like, I don't want to call him her handler, but I think that's what he is. I think he's like, what do they call the body man that's right next to the president? You know what I'm talking about? The guy that, I think they call him the body man.
Human shield.
Yeah. Well, no, he's not Secret Service, but he's like, if the president needs anything, this guy's right here, Mr. President. We've got to be over here. You know, that person, right?
Yeah. So Nick Saban's Josh Maxson.
Yeah. I mean, it's the guy that makes sure, Rockstar, that the
but
governor.
But he is supposed to take a bullet if he has to, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think the governor's a target of Alabama, but yes. I mean, I would say the body man, though he doesn't work for the Secret Service, if he sees somebody come with a gun, he's going to need to throw himself in front of the president. We got to save the president. So there's Katie Britt, Scott is showing you, the senator from Alabama with Governor Ivey. So Rockstar, she was there. Sunglasses and pantsuit. Take me out to the ball game.
Where are the cameras? Okay.
So EG sits next to the body man, and the body man says, hey, I'm sorry, are you Emily Grace McWhorter from the next round?
Oh, God.
And EG,
I did not hear that part of the story.
Oh, yeah, this is the best part of the story. And EG goes, it turns out I am. He goes, I love that show. I watch every day.
Okay.
You can't let this stop you.
I'm not going to let it stop me.
That's how we got involved with Marty Smith, really.
That's right.
And we see if we can get her on.
And EG's like, oh, I'll tell the guys that. He goes, oh, yeah, I used to listen to them when they were on the round table. That's how far back I go.
Oh, dear.
He goes,
Can you get us into the pool?
He goes, he goes, literally, I watch every day. And you know what the last line he says to her is? Tell Rockstar I said hi.
Okay. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Markel over there. Should have gotten on her ass about legalizing sports betting. I called that number for nothing.
Not my call. Didn't reach my desk. Blame Phil over here.
So the body man, Rockstar, the body man, big fan of the show.
Good, man.
Yeah, you think he's got the Secret Service thing in, but he's actually listening to us.
I wish I knew his actual job title so I could say what it is.
We'll pass it along if she ever runs for. I don't know if she's eligible for re-election. My campaign slogan is every vote begins with K.
I know you've wanted her to use that one for a very long time. I think Kay's probably at the end of her line on running for governor. Not live.
I'm
running
rent
for governor.
Jet skis.
What?
She's going to go rent jet skis.
You think she'll be on a Sea-Doo this weekend?
Yes.
In the
Lake Martin?
Yeah.
In the Caymans.
Jumping off Chimney Rock.
Yeah.
Geronimo!
Would that go viral? If Kay Ivey jumped off Chimney Rock in a bikini, would that go viral this weekend?
Got that old school swim cap on.
Does she kick her legs all the way down?
Yeah.
You know how they kick her legs?
Belly flop.
You know she's eating a moon pie on the boat.
Oh, my gosh. So, anyway, Governor Ivey's executive, I don't know, executive vice president, we'll call him, says hello, Rockstar. He passed along his best. And that made my night.
Thank you for listening.
Yep. So EG was excited when she got back. She's like, the governor's office, the guy listens every single day, and he says he loves Rockstar. He said he loves you, Rockstar. I think he probably gets the joke.
Oh, I'm sure he does, and I'm sure she has never heard one sentence uttered on this show.
She has not. Yeah. I am 100% aware she has not.
Did we guilt EG into coming back to sit with us, though?
I don't know. I don't know what her end game was sitting down there. I don't know if she thought she was going to get on TV or if she was waiting to see if sitting next to Randall Woodford might get her on the field.
Or Barry Bonds just sits by. God, nobody's going to interview me. Is nobody going to ask me anything? I'm just going to sit here. How are you doing?
I heard some bad Barry Bonds stories last night.
Yeah. Oh, I talked to somebody that had just come from.
Well, this was back in his San Francisco days.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
So, maybe he's reinvented himself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I heard. I ran into a guy, fan of the show, and his kid was showing me a Barry Bonds autograph he had just gotten. And I was like, that's really cool. And I asked the dad, I was like, how was Barry? He goes, could not have been nicer. I was like, that goes against his reputation. He's like, yeah, I was kind of worried about it. But he said, with the kids, he could not have been nicer.
Well, good. So maybe it's a situation where Barry gets out of his playing days, calms down. Like I've known people, and Barry's not this old, but I know people that once they have grandkids, they get into their 60s, they get into their 70s. Yeah, their personality really changes.
Yeah, and they realize, why was I that way my whole life? I'm not going to end my life that way.
Yeah, and I think he was probably just guarded. I mean, he was, for a good bit, the biggest star in the game.
Yeah. Michael says he thinks maybe the deputy chief of staff is the guy's actual title, and his name would be Nathan. So if that's, I need to get the name from EG. I'll text EG if she's got the name. So, so shout out Nathan if that's your name. We would have loved to have talked to you, but the governor left earlier than we did, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
She beat us to the exits.
But I don't think we rolled out until the 7th.
It
right?
was 7th. Started the 7th. Yeah, started the 7th. Ride share lot, perfect. I mean, could not have been a better night. So there's 40 minutes on last night's game. I don't know what I would have changed about it.
And I don't know if we'll be, given the opportunity if this game does come back from our friends at AB. But boy, I would take it. Yeah,
I would just say I think it has gotten such a positive national reaction, and everything went so smoothly. I would be surprised if they don't do this again. I really would. And I I think the players got as big a kick out of it as anything. I mean, and you're seeing Reverend Greason throw out the first pitch. What about that guy, Lance? 99 years old.
That's
Is this
crazy.
a life? Played in the Negro Leagues. First black pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. One of the first black Marines, served in the United States Marines. He's an American hero at Iwo Jima, of all places.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. Like, you look back and you look at segregation and what these guys were going through. These guys were also going off and fighting for our country.
Absolutely. Willie Mays missed 2 years to fight in Korea, and it probably cost him the Babe Ruth record that Hank Aaron eventually got.
At least 700.
Yeah, and Reverend Greason, who threw out the first pitch, that guy was, he just had to stop his career and go fight at Iwo Jima, which was just awful. But there he is, 99 years old, throwing out the first pitch, still preaching at his church 70 years later at Bethel Baptist Church downtown.
That is
pretty wild, isn't it? But I think everything was so good. It got such a good national reaction. I would be surprised if I think the players would enjoy coming in here. We talked about it last night. Could you imagine if it was Braves-Dodgers, what that ticket would be?
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Braves-Dodgers.
Speaking of Braves, I just saw on Major League Baseball Network, they're eating perimeter dogs from Truist.
What do you mean they're eating perimeter dogs from Truist?
They're eating
perimeter.
Yeah,
that's what they're eating. Okay, I got you.
And
now.
I've been to Truist a few times. I've never had one of their perimeter dogs, but they just showed what was on it.
What is it?
I'm going to tell you right now. It looks amazing, by the way. And you had one dog last night?
I had one dog, but it was just a straight hot dog. I added the ketchup and mustard.
The perimeter dog, foot-long, half-pound dog, topped with sweet bacon jam, spicy sport peppers, diced onions,
and lemon
pepper Dijonnaise sauce.
Okay,
yeah,
that's right.
But look at that thing.
So that with no onions, I am all in on that. That does sound good. The perimeter dog. Sign me right up. I'd eat that. All right, we've got a lot more to get to, including our 40 and 40 team. A guest has not tipped you off on who it is today, so we will unveil it to you. But first, Lance, under that hat, is growing his hair back. I am too, thanks to my friend, Dr. B, and your friend, Dr. B.
Yeah, Dr. Beckstein, best in the business. Again, when I started to thin out, asked around, everybody said Dr. B is the man. You need to go see him. I went, got that consultation, and since that point, a little over 2 years ago, my hair has more than doubled in thickness. Again, I'm just doing that 30-minute non-invasive treatment 3 times a week on the couch. That is it. Dr. B also offering the Sensus Transdermal Infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary as Dr. B can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. Call 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
A little college football when we come back for you on the next round, including what one Alabama commitment said last night that is it's a bold desire, but it's what you want out of the guy. That is next on the next round.
Follow the next round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok while we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, The rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
One of the members of our audience, Lawrence, has designed, I'm going to forward this to Scott. It just came in the break, Scott. So I would have given it to you during the break, but I just saw it. I'm going to forward it to Scott so he could show it. He has taken it on himself to design the logo Buster wants, the Willie Mays Major League Baseball logo.
How's it look?
I think it looks pretty cool. I've sent it to Scott. It'll take him a second to get it up. Once Scott gives me the thumbs up, I'll show it to you. First, HydroLive bringing you part of the show today.
Yeah, hey, look, weekends here. You want to make sure you stay hydrated, whether you're going to play golf, you're just going out, walk around town. Make sure you get in and see our friends at HydroLife Therapy, IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy. It's all under one roof. You can boost your immune system with HydroLife Therapy. They've got a variety of bags. They can customize them for you. Just incredible stuff there. Members also rewarded with deep discounts. Save up to 50% off regular pricing for all services. Plus, receive one free IV bag per month. You're going to recoup that IV membership fee in just one visit. Go online for more information, hydrolifetherapy.com. 2 locations for you in Birmingham, the original in Homewood, one right there, Highway 119 in Greystone, also Tuscaloosa. While you're in one of those great locations of HydroLife Therapy, make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, and 20% off any of the great services from our friends at HydroLife Therapy.
So this is a member of our audience, Lawrence, just emailed this to Lance and I and said, I've done the logo for Buster. Here's what it should look like, the Major League Baseball logo featuring Willie Mays.
Yeah, it's a good-looking logo.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Simple, clean. Tells the story you want told there. I got no problem with it at all. Basically, it's, a version of what you already have. The red, white, and blue with the white outline player. I got no problem. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you need the white line between going through the 24.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder what it would look like, just the red hitting the blue.
Just red and blue touching one another without the white break. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I don't know. But that looks good.
No, I like that. I think that is very simple. I don't know if they would put the 24 on there, maybe leave the number off, maybe keep it on there. I don't know. It kind of looks like that's the year now.
Yeah.
I might just go white outline with no number.
I didn't even think about the correlation between the year and his number.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
passes away, but
now once the number. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Isn't that odd?
No, I bet they would keep the number then.
Yeah.
Pretty significant.
Yeah. the Jackie Robinson number is retired in every stadium. If you retired that number in every stadium, the 24 for Willie Mays.
That's when you could do it. But I think that is going to be something probably going to do in the offseason. I don't know. How many great 24s are playing right now? I know there was a lot of guys like Griffey Jr. that were wearing the number 24.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how many great 24s are playing right now. But, when they did 42, wasn't Mariano the last 42 that was playing?
Maybe,
He continued to wear it. Even after they retired it, they allowed the players to wear it. I have got no problem with that. I like that one. Good job, Lawrence. I assume he did the work on that. He certainly sent it to us. But good job. We got a very talented audience. You never know. Like, you throw something out, and our audience just gives it to us.
It's crazy.
Keelan Russell is the Alabama quarterback commitment. So you might remember this is the guy from Duncanville, Texas, that was committed to SMU, 4-star across the board, committed to SMU, flipped this commitment to Alabama. He's coming off a junior season where he had 3,483 yards with 38 touchdowns, 3 picks. Pretty good season there for him. 74% completion percentage. Pretty good season there for him. Scored another 6 touchdowns on 361 rushing yards. So this guy is coming off a really good junior season. More visible now, flips from SMU to Alabama.
Look, and I know SMU is now an ACC team, so they are a Power 5. But I guess the only thing you would look at is, why would it be down between SMU and Alabama?
Well, I don't know that it was. I think, if I remember, Lance, he committed to SMU kind of early, and his junior season was so good, a lot of people circled back in.
Maybe grew a little bit.
Yep. A lot of people have swooped back in. And this week, he's been at the Elite 11 camp. And he talked to On3 after the Elite 11 camp. And he was the MVP at the Elite 11. So this guy's on a heater right now. He's had a really good junior year. He's the MVP at the Elite 11 camp. And he won the MVP, and they asked him, what's next for you? How about that? Scott's got video. Of course Scott's got video. Why am I surprised by this? Scott's got video from the Elite 11 camp where Keelan Russell was. And they talk to him afterwards and go, what is next for you? And he says, what's next for me? I want to go win the Heisman Trophy.
Okay.
Yeah. I know I'll
big goals, man.
I want to compete against these guys because I know I'll see them in college, Russell said of the Elite 11 camp. I know I'll be competing for a Heisman Trophy, and I'll be competing for a Natty Trophy.
Well, if he's Alabama's starting quarterback, I believe that.
I do, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
he ain't going to get that done at SMU.
He is not. It is unlikely. They've never had a Heisman, have they?
No, I think Dickerson was probably their highest finisher.
Yeah.
Was he in the top 3?
I don't know. I'd have to go look.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
But, I mean, you look at Jalen Milroe. I mean, Jalen Milroe had what would you say, how would you qualify his season for Alabama last year? A good season, solid season?
I would go almost B+.
B+?
Yeah, probably because of where he was in September and not even starting a game against South Florida to where he ended up. Now, didn't have his best game against Michigan, but, against Georgia. I mean, Milroe, that throw against Auburn, Milroe ended up being a B+ quarterback.
Yep. And he's a top 5 Heisman in the odds. He's a top 5 Heisman. And I'll ask Ferman about this because I think there are certain schools where right now, this moment in time could change. But right now, if you are the starter and you tell me if I leave a school out, if you're the starter at Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, and USC, I think you're an automatic Heisman contender. If you're just a starter at those schools. Now, you may not play well enough to get there, but I think you start the season. Is there anybody else I should add to that? I want to add Georgia, but, Stetson Bennett really wasn't that guy.
Clemson really never has been that guy. No, I think that's fair.
I think those 4, if you're a starter at Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, and USC.
And maybe Oregon starts to get into that mix.
Maybe Oregon does. Oklahoma was for a minute, but I think it's tailed off just a little bit since Lincoln Riley left.
Did you put USC in there?
I did, because of Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, because of Lincoln Riley. You have to.
I mean, Lincoln Riley quarterbacks just win Heismans. But I think if you're the starter at one of those places, you start the year basically as a Heisman contender. Now, again, you got to play to that level to reach the Heisman. And it may not hold. Any of those schools, it's fluid. Any of those schools could move out. Nick Saban is the reason Alabama is in that discussion, the way he recruited at Alabama and the level to which they won. If Kalen DeBoer can't maintain that, Alabama will not be in this league of schools.
Yeah, Chris points out over in the mybookie.ag chat, LSU with 2 Heisman quarterbacks in the last 5 years,
That is true.
I mean, that is true, but I don't know if I would put LSU in that grouping.
I would not. Who's the starter at LSU this year?
It's Nussmeier.
Is he Heisman favorite?
Well, I mean, look, he could go out and put 400 on USC in week 1, and people could start talking about it. By the way, Dickerson was third in Heisman voting his final season, behind pretty good company, Herschel Walker and John Elway.
Yeah, that ain't bad. I would agree. I mean, that was some tough company to beat.
Could that have been the best 1, 2, 3 ever?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just talking about with the entirety of their collegiate careers and their NFL careers. Not that Herschel had an incredible
NFL Herschel had the worst NFL career of those three. Yeah.
But Herschel Walker, John Elway, and Eric Dickerson?
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good final. I'll give you that. That's pretty good final.
Anybody over in the chat room, anybody listening, viewing today can find a better 1, 2, 3 in Heisman voting. I'd be hard pressed.
See, and Chris is making my point though. He said you put USC in that group, and Miller Moss hasn't done anything. He hasn't. Where's Miller Moss in the Heisman odds right now? That's my point.
Yeah, but he's got to be he's got to be at least 20-1 or up.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
He's the starter at USC. That's why he's there. It's got nothing to do with what you've done yet. It's got to do with the school you're playing for. And that's my whole point is Jalen Milroe's playing at Alabama, and he was probably a B+. That's one of the reasons he's in the Heisman race. Quinn Ewers is playing at Texas. That's one of the reasons he's the Heisman. Listen, if it was Arch Manning, if Quinn Ewers said, I am out, I want to see what this Arch Manning kid can do too, Arch Manning would be a Heisman favorite right now. He's not hardly taking a snap at Texas.
Right.
But that's just the state of those schools.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say for whatever reason, Quinn Ewers was hurt. He was already ruled out. He's got an ACL. He's done for the year. I think immediately Ewers is one of your top 5 to win a Heisman.
Will Howard?
Manning is.
Yeah, Manning is. Will Howard's never taken a snap at Ohio State. Will Howard, I don't have the odds in front of me. I guarantee you he's better than 20-1.
Oh yeah,
because he's the Ohio State quarterback. That's the whole point. It's about where you're playing. It's not what you have or haven't done there. All right, Ferman will join us next. We'll talk some more about that and some other things with Ferman. Inverness Country Club. If you are looking for a club home in the Birmingham area, Inverness is a great place to start.
Social memberships, golf memberships. You played out there just a couple of months ago. Beautiful course, currently expanding that driving range. Also, if you travel for work or pleasure, ask about the Heritage Plus option. We have access to courses at 37 other clubs around the country. Inverness Country Club, great place to meet others in the community. Maybe you've relocated or retired. Inverness, great place to network. Childcare, also a big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis. Guess what? You can drop the kid, go have a day to yourself on the court or course. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site is a massive plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kids? Best days happen at Inverness. Call Aaron today. Schedule a tour of this unbelievable club. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608. Also, did you know that you don't have to be a member in order to hold an event at Inverness? Inverness can hold anything between golf tournaments, corporate meetings, wedding receptions, anything in between. Again, 205-991-8608 or ICCalabama.com.
That guy, this is in the chat room, the mybookie.ag chat room. That guy, $73.99. 70 had Jim Plunkett, Joe Theismann, Archie Manning. Of those, I think only Manning's in the Hall of Fame. Well, I know. Archie Manning's in the Hall of Fame.
What was it again?
Plunkett, Theismann, Manning.
In what year?
70.
Oh, 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
88, according to that guy. Barry Sanders, Rodney Peete, Troy Aikman. That's 2 Hall of Famers, and Rodney Peete.
Yeah.
Rodney Peete had an okay NFL career.
Okay.
Woodson, Manning, Moss. Moss was 4th, though. He wasn't 3rd in that one. So those are a few people.
Yeah, Woodson, Manning, and Leaf.
Yeah, see, Leaf hurts you there.
Hypo, Winky, and Breeze.
Hypo, Winky, and Breeze?
Yeah,
Breeze made the Hall of Fame.
I don't think, as far as like a 3 that I remember in college, Reggie Bush, Vince Young, and Matt Leinart in 2005, that was pretty incredible. Yeah, I don't think you're going to find better than we mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, we are going to be this afternoon wrapping up this whole week here in Birmingham of everything that is going on out at Trustville Social.
Oh, I need to find out if the Clydesdale.
I've got the answer for you.
Okay.
There will be at least a Clydesdale. The heat they've got to keep them in the shade. These are big horses, and the heat has limited what they can do with the Clydesdales. There will be at least one Clydesdale, I'm told, from our friends at Anheuser-Busch. And it will not be on the hitch. So that's good news for photos. You get a better photo when they're not on the hitch. 3 to 5, Trustville Social. We will be there. We'll be doing some stuff on social media at Trustville Social, so you could join us this afternoon. We invite you to do that. Trustville Social is a fun place to hang out. Come get a photo with a Clydesdale at Trustville Social this afternoon, 3 to 5, and hang out with us on the next round. We'll be out there. We'll see you this afternoon, 3 to 5. Ferman is next.
Follow LT on Twitter at thelancetaylor.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Todd Fuhrman is coming right up. I want to add a couple things. First of all, our appearance out in Trustville today with our friends with Anheuser-Busch and the Clydesdales there. Also, our friends at Folds of Honor are going to be there. You could be able to make a donation, and we always appreciate you doing that. You guys are so helpful in doing that. We appreciate it. A little bit of news from Pete Thamel as we start this hour. Our preview team just yesterday their coach gets some good news. Oklahoma, a new 6-year contract, Pete Thamel reports, for Coach Brent Venables. It includes a significant raise for Venables and an uptick in the overall program commitment as they head to the SEC, as Pete Thamel points
Well, look,
out.
I think this is smart because Venables 6 wins to 10 wins going into that first season in the SEC. It takes a little pressure off of him. I saw some people in the chat yesterday saying, Venables is just kind of a Band-Aid to their next coach. I don't know. I mean, Venables might end up being really good. I thought after 6 and 7 in year one, I was like, probably not going to work. But to bounce back and win 10 games like they did last year, thought that was pretty impressive.
All right, bettheboardpodcast.com is the website, bettheboardpodcast.com, where you get Furman's thoughts on all the games. And he is with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Todd Fuhrman joins us from Vegas. What is up, Ferman? How are you today?
I'm doing well, but Brownie, with you back in the saddle, I expect to come on at the top of the hour like we normally do. It's only Dunaway who gets a little loose getting in and out of these breaks. So I know it's summer vacation mode for you guys, so I'll give you a free pass today.
A bit late. We were 4 after the hour. We got off on a bit of a tangent there at the end of the last hour. That's on us. I will start, though, with Brent Venables. Your thoughts on him, just watching from the Vegas perspective. As Lance said, it was not a great first year, but 10-3 last year. Though when you look at their schedule, as we did yesterday, it is an absolutely brutal year one in the SEC schedule for them this year.
It'll definitely be an eye-opening experience, and I think the timing of this extension is a little bit unique because if Brent Venables were to go out there in year one as a member of the SEC and struggle, then you begin to reassess if he's that guy capable of taking the program to that upper echelon, competing with some of the power programs that are out there. No, when we look at the Power 4 leagues from top to bottom. But as far as preseason expectations for this Sooners team, I think there are a lot of people that are relatively bullish on the development of Jackson Arnold and what he's been able to do to recruit and try and bring in offensive personnel. So you have to give Venables the benefit of the doubt when it comes to learning what it takes to be a CEO, going from just being the defensive mastermind on that side of the ball. And in terms of odds maker expectations, I mean, look, there's a reason that Oklahoma's win total this season is only set at 7.5, heavily shaded to the under, as they'll go from the Big 12 into a big boy league in the SEC.
Okay, the NBA Finals did nothing for us. We got 5 games, ended up actually doing pretty good on that series. I don't know about you, but the Stanley Cup Finals, they're giving us a little drama. We've got Game 6 tonight in Edmonton. I think you believe Florida is the better team. Connor McDavid is playing out of his mind right now. But I'm assuming the Panthers right at a pick tonight, plus 100. That would be the play?
You know, the NBA playoffs, unfortunately, over the last handful of years have been that one postseason amongst the major sports that consistently underwhelms. You get such three-point variance, one team gets hot, and we're dealing with a lot more 15- and 20-point games than we ever have in the past. And you're right, that finals best described as underwhelming, and you see some of that reflected in the viewership numbers there. But the NHL now we thought was going to be a runaway for the Panthers. They took their foot off the accelerator in Game 4 and gave the Edmonton Oilers a chance to breathe. Oilers dragged that thing down to Fort Lauderdale. They're the better team, at least for the first 20 minutes with the man advantage, and here we are now. I think what's interesting about this, you mentioned the number, LT, and we've seen money come in on the Panthers, which I'm on board with. I think Florida knows they have to play with a lot more desperation because for the first time in this series, this game will go a long way in terms of really testing their mettle. Because if you go to Game 7 in your own building, I think that's the advantage to the road team that can come in playing loose and free. Florida started to get back to what they do best over the final 30 minutes of Game 5. You saw them really take advantage at even strength, and I think some of that momentum carries forward. So I am of the mindset that Florida goes out there, closes things out tonight in 6. And ironically enough, for folks who watch hockey, this took on a similar tenor to what we saw last year with the Golden Knights against the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Finals. The Knights got out to a 3-0 series lead, took their eye off the prize. Dallas wins a couple of games, and the Knights put together their most complete 60 minutes in Game 6, ending all doubt. So I think Florida clamps down as best they can on Connor McDavid, and we're talking about the Panthers winning their first Stanley Cup in franchise history.
Which means a Canadian team does not win the Stanley Cup for yet another year. Can you put your finger on why this continues to be the case?
I think it's as much, look, we have plenty of Canadian players on all of the other rosters, so it's not like the Canadian teams have been able to build their rosters with a deeper talent pool than the rest of the league. So when you look at the more anomaly than anything else, I think it just speaks to how poorly some of those franchises have been run. We know about the long-standing misery of Maple Leafs fans and some of the poor player personnel decisions that they've made. And you look elsewhere across the country, for years, Winnipeg really struggled to attract free agents to a market that, look, isn't the most attractive when you get into the dog days of January and February up there in Winnipeg. So I think things are changing a little bit. You look at the hard salary cap and the way things have adjusted over the last 10 to 12 years. There are a couple of Canadian franchises, in my opinion, right now that are very well positioned. And if Edmonton isn't able to end that long-standing drought, I think it'll happen over the next couple of years.
You know, there's a little article, ESPN today. I really didn't read through it, but the title was Betting Buzz, Alabama's national championship odds longest since Nick Saban's second season. I think we've glazed across this, but Alabama's 16-1 right now. Is there any liability on Alabama? Or people actually, I mean, if you could have gotten a ticket with Nick Saban as head coach at 16-1, that was unheard of. But are people taking a shot with Kalen DeBoer?
Not that I know of yet, and it's so tough when we look at the calendar here on June 21st, how much buzz that we'll start to see around a lot of these power programs. When you look at the market, so much of the win equity as things stand right now being eaten up by Georgia, Oregon, and Ohio State. You did see some books come out as high as 6-1 on the Buckeyes. That number no longer available. So it'll be interesting to see where some of these prices come down and where they settle. But I think when you look at Alabama's schedule, look, if they go into Camp Randall week 3 and are able to take care of Wisconsin, where they'll be a bigger favorite than I think the casual fan would be led to believe, it'll all come down to week 5. Coming out of that bye against Georgia, Alabama's able to win that game. Suddenly people will buy into Kalen DeBoer. And I think much was made when we started to see the initial exodus of players into the transfer portal once Nick Saban announced his retirement. The roster, in my opinion, isn't nearly as depleted as a lot of people have talked about it. And Kalen DeBoer has won at every stop along the way. No reason for me to believe that this can't be an Alabama team that when they go to Tennessee in week 8 is staring down a 6-1 season, win that game, take care of business against Missouri, and all of a sudden we're talking about Alabama having a path to the playoff yet again.
We were discussing before you came on, this was the tangent we got off on. Todd Fuhrman is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter, bettheboardpodcast.com. We were discussing, it was an Alabama commitment. He won the Elite 11 quarterback camp, and he said, look, next thing for me, I want to win the Heisman, which is a goal I think you want your quarterback to have, right? I was trying to make the point, though, Ferman, that I think there are 4 schools that primarily their starting quarterback is going to be a Heisman favorite because of where they play. They don't have to take a snap. And I said they're Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, and USC. Do I have that group right? I mean, pretty much you guys in Vegas, if they're the starter at those schools right now, this moment in time, you almost have to make them a Heisman favorite.
You do, although when you look at USC right now, Miller Moss's odds nowhere near the same class as some of the other programs that you mentioned. But when we look at Heisman voting in general and the way the award has trended, especially in the betting markets, the formula's out in terms of what it takes to win this award. You have to put up gaudy numbers, as you always did, but you have to play for a team that's going to win 10 games. Now, maybe things will change a little bit during the college football playoff era if we're talking about, declining numbers or a slightly weaker talent pool. But there is no doubt that odds makers are going to do everything they can to kind of shorten prices there. And along that same mindset, guys, we're already seeing that with Ohio State and their backup quarterback. I mean, Will Howard appears to have the inside track to be the starter this year, but Julian Sain has taken a ton of money at long shot prices. We saw his number drift out to 200 to 1 thereabouts. Some of the more prominent books out here in the desert have him listed at odds shorter than Will Howard, thinking that he has a path if he wins the starting job, and they just don't want to be exposed to that level of liability. So it's a fascinating discussion and dialogue when you look at these power programs, that a player like that may not even be the starter day one, is priced at 25 to 1 to win the most prestigious individual award in the sport.
And that's interesting to a lot of people here because he was the presumed next guy in line in Tuscaloosa, Julian Sain. So, excuse me, interesting to hear he's at least viewed in those terms, but that kind of makes my point, right, is nobody's really even seen him play. But if he's going to be the starter at Ohio State, I got to be prepared for it.
Yep, exactly. And we saw Kyle McCord's odds shorten early on in the season last year until there was a little bit more of a sample size. So it's always interesting. I mean, when you look at teams that are going to go out there and put up big numbers, odds makers would rather start with numbers that are shorter and lengthen those prices as the season progresses. And we've seen that to a certain extent as well with what's unfolding in Knoxville. I mean, Nico goes out there and dazzles against Iowa, albeit in a limited passing capacity in that bowl game. And you're looking at a number sub 20 to 1 that you wouldn't have seen for a player that didn't have a sample size in the past. We've seen Jackson Dart's odds come down. If there's one player that I think is being a little bit discounted in the Heisman race in the SEC that may have a chance, who put up big numbers last year, it would be Brady Cook at Missouri. If you believe that Missouri can continue some of the trajectory that we've seen, we know they've recruited at a higher level, that's one player that I think has flown under the radar a little bit more than some of the other quarterbacks that'll be out there leading top 10, top 15 caliber teams in the preseason ranking.
College World Series Game 1 of the finals tomorrow night, 6:30 Central Time, with A&M and Tennessee both trying to win their first College World Series. Tennessee, last I saw, minus 165 is the series price. Do you think you get a little value out of Texas A&M plus here?
This number has been interesting because these two teams were billed as the favorites coming into Omaha, and they've done nothing to really disappoint. Tennessee, a little bit fortunate, in my opinion, on the check swing that wasn't in their opener against Florida State. And on the flip side, you look at A&M outlasting Florida, and credit to both those teams, they didn't leave any doubt in terms of the double elimination format. So I do think you can make a slight case for A&M being a live underdog. The one thing that scares me is that Tennessee just brings so much power to the plate. I mean, you're talking about 5 players with 20-plus home runs for the first time in college baseball history. And when we look at Omaha and when you handicap these games, the weather pattern will play a big role. If we're talking about conditions that are more favorable for hitters, you give Tennessee the advantage. The other thing that's hard for me to ignore when I look at this A&M side, we know they lost one of their key cogs in their super regional game against Oregon early on, and now you're looking at Jace Laviolette, who looks like he's got a hamstring held together by duct tape and bubble gum, similar to what I'd imagine it looks like when Dunaway is running from the studio to try and get to his car after each and every show during the week.
I love Ferman kneecapping Dunaway when he's not here. A hamstring held together by duct tape and bubble gum sounds awful, so I hope he's okay. Ferman, have a great weekend. Thank you very much for your time. Always great talking with you.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Catch up next week.
All right, we'll see you. Todd Fuhrman with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter. And you can get everything at bettheboardpodcast.com, bettheboardpodcast.com. A reminder, every single time is a time to think about your urological health. And Urology Centers of Alabama helps you with that. UCA has 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across the entire state of Alabama. Now, they take care of both men and women of your urological needs, prostate health, kidney stones, all the above. They take care of it at Urology Centers of Alabama. Here's the website for more information, urologycentersalabama.com. That is urologycentersalabama.com. It's where you schedule an appointment and find out all the information you need from Urology Centers of Alabama. I think I know how you are going to answer this question and how the majority of the mybookie.ag chat room is going to answer this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Pat McAfee is currently not under contract to do College Game Day this year.
Okay.
I guess this is an ABC. A, do you want him on there? B, do you not want him on there? C, do you really even care?
C, I really don't care because A, I don't watch. You know, I'll tune in every now and then for the picks at
You're
the
like
end.
me. You've got it on in the background.
I've got it on in the background. You know, we're doing a show a lot of times on Saturday morning. I'm running to the store to pick up all my essentials for that day. For the watching, you know, much more important to me is 11 a.m. until whenever the games end. But if I'm just sitting around and everything is done, I will watch a little bit. I'm not the biggest McAfee fan in the world.
Yeah.
I give him all the credit in the world. He was my inspiration for Halloween this year.
That is correct.
But I give him a ton of credit. The guy's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of passion. He's got a lot of connections. He's worked his ass off. He's just on that set. I don't find it needed. Some people were like, he breathes a lot of life into that show. I don't know. I kind of like Fox's pregame better.
So this goes back to the end of last year. The Athletic published a poll. There are only 3,100 respondents to this poll. That is a very small sample size based on how big the game day audience is. And they asked, what is your favorability opinion of Pat McAfee? 48% didn't like him on game day, 30% did, and 22% had no opinion.
And it seems like he's a pretty. I know Herb Street has been sensitive in the past. It seems like McAfee's a little. I mean, I don't want to say he's Dunaway sensitive.
Yeah.
Because I don't. That's a different level. That's a different stratosphere. But McAfee's.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah. That's fair.
Well, McAfee retweeted that Athletic article and basically said, essentially, I'm putting words in his mouth a little bit, but I'm trying to paraphrase here because I don't have the exact tweet in front of me. But basically said, you stodgy college football fans don't like me, and that's fine. I may not come back and do the show. Herb Street, Herb
Please,
Street,
don't.
No. But Herb Street responded and said, if you don't come back, I'm not coming back, and I'm not kidding about that. Now, I think Herb Street is completely full of it. Yeah. There's no way Herb Street's giving up that game.
Yeah, because I'll guarantee it, and then ESPN is going to say, you know what, Kirk, we need to rework this contract.
That's right. So Herb Street has said, if McAfee's not there, I'm not there. Again, I don't believe that. But McAfee now has this contract for his daily show with ESPN, but that's a separate contract. They basically license his show. He does not have a current contract for College Game Day and has been vocal about it and says he doesn't know what he's going to do. And we are now, how far? It's June 21st. I mean, we're almost 2 months from the season.
Yeah.
I mean, August 31 is
less
the first
than
Saturday.
70 days, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're 70 days from the season. You would kind of like have that wrapped up. Nick Saban's joining. I think Corso, there's no way you can anticipate he does every single week.
Well, I'm just wondering. I mean, let's say for some, a worst-case scenario where McAfee and Herbstreit are out. Yeah, Corso, so limited.
Yeah, I mean, he can't do every week. He can't make the West Coast games.
You've got Reese, Desmond, and Saban. Desmond is my least favorite on the desk. I don't know about you.
So you like McAfee more than Desmond?
It's close.
Yeah. Little T threw up a vote.
Yeah, I like McAfee more.
Okay. Little T threw up a vote in our chat room, or somebody threw it up. I don't know who throws that vote up when it's in the chat room like that, in the mybookie.ag chat room. Quick voting early on in that poll. 44% of you don't care. 33% want him on the air. 22% don't. I think you're going to find most people don't really care. Because I think a lot of people, I don't know. I always hate it when you've got a way you do things, so you assume that's how everybody does it. But my Saturdays operate this way. I turn it on when game day starts at 8 o'clock just to get a feel for the atmosphere of wherever they are. They're at a big game, and I just kind of feel that atmosphere, see what the crowd's like, maybe watch the first segment or two, and I come back to it for the picks right before the game starts.
There was a time, even, this is going way back when Corso first started, and you had Craig James on there, and you had Chris Fowler. You couldn't get the information that you get today.
Right.
So there was something about just consuming that entire show before the day.
Now, you might find out about a key injury for the first time there.
Yeah, and some really cool stories that you probably can read about throughout the week now leading up into the games. But there was something different about it. Back during the day. But if I do have time, I'll still watch it. It's just not appointment viewing for me.
Yeah. So in the mybookie.ag chat room, CU and Buff, McAfee is annoying. Bama Beth, I watch game day every week. I like him. I hope they keep him. Steven, I don't care. McAfee audience will follow him whether it's game day or just a live stream. If he just wants to do his own thing, he's right about that. He can just do his own thing and get a good crowd and not have to leave Indianapolis. I was trying to dig through some of these. Goose, I don't want McAfee on game day. Just give him his own show on ESPN2 and get game day to back to what it once was. Landmine Believer, McAfee and Saban are good together. I wouldn't mind him. Saban and McAfee have a weird, good relationship.
Yeah, I think it started with their weekly interview last year.
Yeah. Steven says that desk is getting crowded before Saban. That is one thing. When it becomes the pick segment, you got Desmond, Reese, sometimes Corso, guest picker, McAfee and Herbstreit. That's a lot to get through.
I'll give Reese a lot of credit trying to control and direct.
It's hard to do
with that many people. The good news is you've got a ton of content you can get out there. There's not a lot of pressure on one person, but being able to balance that out with all those personalities, that's really difficult. And as a consumer, I think a desk should be limited to 4 people.
Yeah,
five is too many.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. I don't get enough from any of them at that point.
As we do this, 2 is probably not enough.
Yeah, 3's just right.
3 or 4 is just right.
Yeah.
Inside the NBA, I always liked Kenny, Shaq, and Ernie. Or excuse me, Kenny, Charles, and Ernie.
Yeah.
And then when Shaq came on, I told Barkley, I was like, I just don't know why you guys need him, but he's grown on me a lot.
He has. It has found its place there. My issue is, when they get to the pick segment and they're talking about all these games, I'm going to want some insight from Saban. I'm not going to want Saban just to make a quick pick. I think we saw in the NFL draft, this guy's going to do his homework, and he's going to have some insight for coaches he's just coached against, like Kirby Smart and Steve Sarkisian and people like that.
It's almost like I'd like to see a rotation. If they're doing, deep dive stories, then you could have, Reese and, whoever is actually doing the story, they could handle that. You could bring Saban in and out when you're actually doing matchups, and then as you said, you're going through the picks.
SEC Nation, Brody says, is his favorite. I don't watch that one as much. I have it on.
I've got it on too, but I never have the volume
I never have the volume up, and I love everybody on. We've got a lot of friends that are on that show. I just don't. I don't.
Yeah,
watch
the only volumes I hit are ESPN and Fox.
Is Lunceford back there?
Do you like Fox's, by the way?
Yeah, I watch it some too. Yeah. I'll flip it. It depends on where they are sometimes. Lunceford, a lot of people are saying they like McAfee on WWE. Do the wrestling fans like McAfee in his work?
I think so, because he's obviously super high energy and is pretty good on commentary. He's actually pretty good in the ring too. Overall, I think if people had to have him on one, they would pick Raw over game day.
Okay.
If you're a fan of both.
Yeah. It's just he is a polarizing guy. There's no doubt with McAfee. But I just saw that article and I was curious what everybody's thoughts are because it is the fabric of a college football Saturday. I mean, it's part of the fabric of a college football Saturday game day. And I just know there are people that hate McAfee, and I kind of like what he brings to the show personally. I do worry about it getting too crowded, though, now that Nick Saban's coming over there. And the Saturdays that Corso's able to make the trip, that's a lot of voices you got to find time for.
Well, and you never know behind the scenes if somebody doesn't like somebody and they're like, I want this guy gone, and then ESPN's like, no, that guy's going to stay, then that can also affect some decisions.
Yeah, that pick segment, man, when Reese is like, all right, we're going to need to go quick on this one.
It is.
I mean, it can get rapid fire sometimes.
You think somebody'd be rubbing their temples?
I mean, it's... And that's
couldn't get the Katie Couric thing in.
That's the part I want the pick segment though. That's my favorite part of the show is the pick segment.
Yeah, it's almost like let's start with the picks.
Yeah, I mean, or
make sure we get them in.
Let's allow 30 minutes for it. I think the guest picker has run its course personally.
Oh, I do too.
I think because
some of them are so bad. Like there are some entertaining ones. But I think it's about one out of every 4. I think about once a month you get a good entertaining one.
I think the guest picker was a cool idea to begin with. I think they ought to go away from it at every stop. Like if there's one that is big and makes sense and we can get him at this stop, let's use him. Hey, this week we do have a guest picker. You don't have to have that every week. That's just my opinion. But you know what? Nobody at ESPN has asked me about this. That may surprise you. Nobody at ESPN has called and asked for my opinion on that. Hey, Michelson Laser Vision. We'll do 4 downs when we come back. But Michelson Laser Vision gave Lance that fighter pilot. We had a flyover last night at the game. Those fighter pilots, they got good vision.
205-969-8100. That is the number that I called more than 2 decades ago. Write it down. Make that call today. Stop procrastinating. If you wear contacts or glasses, you're wasting money each and every year. Speaking from experience, I wore the contacts for about a decade. Finally got the procedure done from Dr. Mark Michelson back in 2003. I had the 20/200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. I now have 20/15 vision, better than 20/20. Call Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Good celebrity birthdays today?
Yes.
I love the good celebrity birthdays. That's coming up next in 4 downs.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville. The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Pat McAfee has a daughter, Troy points out, so he might try to slow down. The dude does keep a heck of a schedule. I will give him that. But nobody's schedule is crazier than Herb Street's.
No, not at all. And I kind of do wonder why more guys like, McAfee I guess for a minute it was just a podcast, but why he wouldn't just do that and make millions of dollars and you're kind of on your own schedule?
I don't know, but there's times he's, at a WWE event and then quickly to game day, and then he's back in Indianapolis doing his show every week. Sometimes that show is on the road. It's a heck of a schedule, but Herb Street's football schedule is insane. When you consider... Yeah,
but I will say, though, that Herb Street from January, middle of January through now is doing nothing.
Yeah, I'd be on the beach or on the golf course. But once the season starts, because what you can't forget to factor in is anytime you're doing an NFL game, and he does obviously the NFL game on Thursday night, he does game day from a location, then he does a Saturday night game, that comes with a ton of calls and player and coach interviews. Like he's having to do a Zoom with both the coaches in the NFL game and a set of players from both teams. He's having to do an interview with the coach from the game day site and some people there, and then for the game he's doing on Saturday night. It's rapid fire for him in football season. Nobody's going to cry any tears because everybody in the world would line up to take that job, but it is a lot of work. He doesn't do nothing.
I remember back in the day of the round table, I know we had Aaron Andrews as a weekly. Did we ever have Herb Street as a weekly? I know we had him a few times. Was he weekly?
He was a weekly on Mondays, I think. Yeah. Mondays or Thursdays.
And then he did Feinbaum weekly, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The reason I bring that up, it's just amazing with some of the schedules these people have during football season. And just imagine if they're doing a hit with somebody in Birmingham, how many hits are they doing?
I know. That's why Herb Street's priced to do it now is what it is.
Yeah, because outside of this, the most I've ever been scheduled weekly out of market hits was 4. And I was like, this is way too much.
Yeah.
And those are just 4 10, 15-minute hits throughout the week.
Yeah. So we'll see what becomes a college game day. As the poll has shown, some of you just don't even really care.
I think he is. That is the definition of polarizing when you get about 50-50, right?
I will say, though, in the poll that we've got going right now in the MyBookie.ag chat room, 42% want him, 38% don't care, and only 20% don't want him. See, that's what I would take. 80% either want me or don't care. There's only 20% that don't want me. If he's going to pay attention to a poll from The Athletic, he may as well pay attention to this as well.
I just can't believe he even looks at that stuff.
I would agree with you 100% on that. All right, let's do 4 Downs, presented every day by Slice. 5 great Birmingham locations of Slice.
Yeah, hey, look, weekend is finally here. Get in and enjoy the best pizza out there. It is Slice. So creative with their pies. From the soul pie that Brown loves. I love the Hot Mama, the Wing and a Prayer, which is absolutely fantastic. You get the barbecue with the brisket or the chicken, the Bajaya special. So many to choose from. For more information, slicebirmingham.com. But 5 locations. Stop into one of those for lunch or dinner this weekend. The original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, and the newest location right there in Homewood on the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. It is Slice.
First down.
Better chance of winning another title, Dabo or LeBron James?
You might wonder why we're talking about Dabo Swinney. You'll find out later in the show. Sometimes it helps if I do the 40 before 4 Downs. I did not realize that at the time. It's a failure by me.
Well, I tried to go all celebrity birthdays, but I only had 3.
Oh, so the next 3 Downs are celebrity birthdays. So I saw a story. So another one of those where I just read the headline, didn't click on the story.
By the way, we hadn't even talked about what would be massive breaking news. Not breaking news, but big news in most markets. J.J. Redick has become the new coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
I can't pretend that I care enough to make it breaking news. I know you're a Lakers fan, but
I
just feel like he's the next guy that LeBron's going to get fired.
I mean, it is interesting because this guy's 39 years old, playing in the NBA for 15 years. He has zero coaching experience. These guys now...
But he did a podcast with LeBron.
I was going to say, they do a podcast. They become really friendly. They've got a great relationship. And, oh, wow, what do you know? Yeah. Now, this is the 6th head coach since Phil Jackson, by the way, since 2011.
I did see a article, and I didn't click on it to read the depth, how in-depth it went. I'm bad about that. That was basically saying LeBron has said the Lakers could draft Bronny and me not stay here. I mean,
oh, come on.
I know, it just makes no sense.
I mean, the biggest joke is ESPN is actually running draft promos, and one of the players they're featuring is Bronny.
Of course they are.
If he gets drafted, it is a complete PR stunt.
I would just... I mean, they seem a long way off in the West, but I'd rather have to get there in the West than get there in the East.
Yeah, you say they're a long way off, and look, they were
the 7th seed, right?
They were the 7th seed. They go out in the first round, but you're really one pivotal player. If you can have a
Bronny,
LeBron playing at this level, Anthony Davis stays healthy, you get another kind of pivotal big in there, I think the Lakers could be really dangerous. Now, the West is so deep, I'm not saying they could win a championship, and I really don't believe it's going to happen with J.J. Redick in the next couple of years. So I actually would say Dabo.
I mean,
I don't feel great about it.
Yeah. Dabo's got a path to a top 4 seed in a bye every single year, and he's really only one of maybe 2, possibly 3 teams in that conference that has that. So I would probably go Dabo in this discussion. Don't feel great about either answer.
First down.
Third down.
That's
second down. Second down.
Prince William, 42 today.
Now, remind me which one he is. He's the one
balding one.
Is still a Prince?
The one that wants to be Prince.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
42. Better career, Prince William or John Williams, the composer? I know this sounds crazy, but John Williams is the best composer of all time.
No, I would agree with you.
Iconic.
He's done more. He wasn't just born.
Well, right.
John Williams wasn't just
He didn't have the right dad.
Yeah. I know. I guess... which career would you rather have?
John Williams.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know, man. Be known for doing nothing.
I don't really care for that money.
Born.
If you're a royal, you do serve in the military, which
that's right.
I don't know. I don't think he saw frontline action.
Yeah, I think they probably protect you, but you're still serving in the military.
But I do, and this is hypocritical because I didn't serve in the military. I've had people close to me serve in the military, great friends, my older brother, grandfather, that kind of stuff. But I do think that is one of the things we're missing here in America. I think you should have 2 years of military experience. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but again, it's easy for me to say. Discipline, drive, direction, so many things.
Yeah, my thought is I want our military to be people that want to be there. So that would be my thought.
I don't know if you remember we had this thing called the draft.
We did. Sometimes we have to do that, but...
and I'm not going to say just because you enlist in the military, you want to be there. There's a lot of guys that don't have options.
They don't.
Majority of people do it for college.
I see your point.
Yeah.
And I would rather them want to be there, but if you know at least you're groomed going up, I know I'm going to be going off to the military between the ages of 19 and 21 or whatever it would be.
I'm no military expert. General Pocapani will be there with us this afternoon at Trustful
He
Social.
will agree with me.
He will agree with you?
Yep.
I would ask him, though, and he would know the answer to this, the history of militaries that have used largely conscripted service, how has that gone for them? I don't think it goes well. Generally, that means you're probably...
I don't know. I mean, Germans had pretty good military. Russians.
But I mean, they ended up losing because, well, they tried to fight a 2-front war. That's why they had to have conscripted service, is because...
Of course, when we were winning wars, we were forcing guys to go.
Well, I know, but
I'm just saying...
That was only in wartime.
You know, you asked me the other day when we were talking about Willie Mays, what were you doing at 17? Nothing productive. And I just think the military at least gives you that direction, and it does give a lot of discipline. Not for everyone. It's just my opinion.
Michael in the chat room who served agrees with me. A volunteer military much better than required service. And I think we all agree the draft is an extreme. I mean, you're at war. You've got to have bodies.
Desperate times, desperate
measures. You're having to replace people that are dying on the front, you know. I just think in the day-to-day, I'd prefer to have a volunteer military than a conscripted.
With all that, that's the only thing I can say Prince William actually did.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that was
John
going.
Williams.
John Williams, I think five Oscars. I think he's got like 30-something Grammys. You think about the iconic scores. Jaws, to me, probably the most iconic. You had Superman.
Indiana Jones.
Did he
do Star Wars?
He did Star Wars. He did
pretty good
E.T. He did Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I mean, just really, really unique stuff, and always changed it up, and it always just fit that movie perfectly. So, I mean, I probably would rather be Prince Williams.
Yeah.
But I think Prince William. But I think John Williams has had the better career.
I would take Prince Williams day to day. I think over John. I don't know what John Williams is doing day to day right now. One of the coolest concerts I've ever been to, and this is a random concert, and it was at Boutwell Auditorium. The London Philharmonic Orchestra came in and played John Williams themes.
I remember they do that. I wish I would have actually seen that.
You would have loved it as much as you like movies. And they played all the famous John Williams themes, and it was a terrific concert. The most moving was the violin solo from Schindler's List, and a Jewish violinist played it, and you could hear in the microphone, hear him sniffling like he's brought to tears by playing it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember this, but SiriusXM had a channel, and it was really all like just different soundtracks from movies, different scores, and then they would go in and they would do a deep dive sometimes and talk about behind the scenes on the movie.
Yeah,
and it was by far my favorite SiriusXM channel. It was back in like 05, 06, 07.
I don't remember that one. Yeah,
have you not heard Pitbull has his own channel?
I've heard that.
You know that?
Yeah.
You get
Jimmy Buffett's got one.
They all get one. Chris Stapleton's got one right now. It's really good.
Third down.
Chris Pratt, 45 today. Better career, Chris Pratt or Chris Paul?
Chris Pratt's been in Jurassic Park. He's the voice of Mario.
He's
the voice
Star
of
Commander, right?
Garfield. He's been in, he's in a Marvel and Avengers.
I think Avengers made him all his money.
Yeah.
He's never won a major award though for his acting.
No.
And Chris Paul,
I didn't really know.
What major awards has he won?
I
think I'm going to go Chris Pratt.
He's been a first-team NBA guy.
Okay.
He was viewed as the best point guard in the NBA for about 5 to 7 years.
How much jewelry?
But he hasn't won a championship.
That's right. I got to go Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt seems like a fun guy.
He's friends with Jake from State Farm, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and Chris Pratt is married to Arnold's daughter.
It's a heck of a father-in-law to have.
It really would be. Have you seen that documentary yet, Arnold?
I have
Either
not.
one of you guys?
No, he was on the podcast with Conan. He's an incredible interview.
Who, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. It's like the guy's been here for like 60 years.
Dude,
he still hadn't lost his accent.
I think
it's crazy, isn't it? It is thick as ever,
but
too.
He is such an intelligent guy.
Yeah.
And that's just that Austrian accent that is that thick. But I highly recommend if you've got an hour to spare this weekend, the Arnold documentary on Netflix is fantastic. And he's one of those guys. You would want to hang out with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. So that is the daughter he had with Maria Shriver. That's who Chris Pratt's married to?
Yes, not the maid.
Not the maid. Yeah. Did he admit to that finally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was kind of hard to.
when you see the kid.
No, it's a spitting image. Like, yeah.
By the way, have you guys seen Presumed Innocent? Like the original movie with Harrison Ford was good. But I've watched 3 episodes of the new Apple show with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's good.
Yeah.
Is it based off the same premise?
I'm thinking, I don't want to give it away because I'm watching it with Maddie, so I don't want to tell her. She's like, do you think he's guilty? And I don't, because I know how that one ends, but this has got different angles to it.
Yeah.
Is it inspired by that movie?
Yeah.
By the way, Chris in the MyBookie.ag chat room reminds us Arnold has a donkey that lives inside of his house, and we discovered that on the Manning cast. If you remember when he was a guest on the Manning cast.
He's got one of the biggest fireplaces.
Yeah.
It looked like it came out of Game of Thrones.
And the donkey walked into the shot, and they're like, what is going on here? And he's, this donkey live in my house, and you're like, okay, that completely makes sense, Arnold.
But you'll get more of that when you see the documentary and all of the animals that he's got. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Fourth down.
Scotty Scheffler, the ripe old age of 28 years old.
Boy, he's lived a lot of life. He's got a hard edge to him now. He's been in the clink.
If I ask you ultimately, better career, Scotty Scheffler or Scottie Pippen?
I'd go Scotty Scheffler. I think Scotty Scheffler's got a chance to be...
I think he needs 2 more, though, to beat Pippen.
And I think he'll get that.
Yeah, I do too.
I would agree with you. But I think he's got a chance to be... He's got a chance to be viewed as a top 10 golfer of all time. You would never view Pippen as a top 10 player of all time.
I mean, this sounds stupid right now, but if Scheffler plays at the top of his game, doesn't battle injuries, doesn't have any mental lapses...
Doesn't get arrested.
Can play for the... I'm not really worried about him getting arrested. I think that's his one and done.
That was it?
if he plays at this level for the next 10 to 15 years, I think he could end up being a top 5 golfer.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the table. He's got to continue to do that. We've said the same about Spieth, and he lost his game.
As good as Mickelson was,
Yep.
I think watching Scheffler at his best is better than Mickelson was at his best.
Oh, I agree. But we said the same about Rory. You never would have envisioned he goes a whole decade without winning a major.
No, but I think a lot of that back to the mental aspect.
Yeah, I agree completely, and it seems like Scheffler handles that. So I think I'd go Scotty Scheffler on that one. That is 4 Downs, good celebrity birthdays, and it is presented each day by Slice.
Yeah, make sure you stop in. Created by our really good friend, the late Jeff Bajai. Just such an incredible guy. I love going in and seeing the murals on the wall at the Crestline Park location. But his brothers continue to celebrate his legacy and run the day-to-day there. Get in and see Jason and Chris and the rest of the Bajayas. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 5 great locations. For more information, slicebirmingham.com. Local pizza, local ingredients.
Steven in the MyBookie.ag chat room says Jordan's son is married to Larsa Pippen. Did they get married?
I don't know if they got married. I know they
were dating.
Finagling.
Or finagling. Dating might be a oversimplification.
Like we were talking about yesterday.
Finagling.
That Bill Belichick is dating a 24-year-old cheerleader. Did you know this?
I did not. He's probably Mr. Personality on the day.
So do you remember the Ring doorbell footage that somehow got released of him making the walk of shame out of some girl's apartment?
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
It's apparently her. No, he had no shirt on.
Yeah. But I love the fact that he's like, you might be living in the apartment, but your ass, like, if you come to my place, then I'm going to have to make you leave. I can leave your place at any time I want.
That's right. I mean, he's wearing no shirt, and he's just stumbling out of I don't think it was an apartment. It was like a house.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a shot because of the age gap, but this is a massive age gap. This is
what we would call hypocritical out of you.
Well,
if you took a shot.
But, I mean, let's not forget that she's younger than someone we know, and he is decades older than me.
He has a good 20 years older than you, isn't he?
He's got
it's a big gap.
He's got a half century on this girl.
And I'm like, this was being discussed, Rockstar, on the Uber ride down to Rickwood Field last night about this relationship. And a lot of people look at Scott so quick with a photo. I mean, if I told you grandfather, granddaughter, you'd be like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the age, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 17 to 24, that's probably what that is. I just don't understand.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, this was being discussed, Rockstar, on the way to the game last night, and a lot of people in the Uber almost unanimously agreed it's all about the money, right?
No,
but I'm like,
I'm saying personality.
Can we go poll question? I want to see if we have 1% that say it's about just
true love.
Well, yeah, and compatibility and interest.
But
He's just a straight shooter with me.
But my point was, what kind of
No
money did you think Bill Belichick has?
Oh, Bill Belichick. He's probably never spent his money.
Okay.
I would say his net worth has got to be $50 million.
Remember,
plus.
he's divorced. He's once divorced, so that's going to impact his net worth.
I still think he's $50 million.
Okay. Did you look at her? And she's a cheerleader.
Okay.
You can find a lot of $50 millions out there that, to Rockstar's point, seem to have a personality. And is maybe not 70.
70 million?
70 million.
70 million. He's 72 years old. I bet she also looks and's like, you know what? If I'm dating one of these baseball players, he's banging 15 other girls on the road. Bill Belichick.
He's at home watching film.
I mean, I might have to grind through him once a week.
That's what I said. I still have to pay my dues.
I mean, she's earning her money.
I'm feeling kind of kinky tonight. I can tell. Yeah.
I'm fired up.
Stood on the bed.
Hey, Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics takes care of you when you get that injury that knocks you down. Doing things you love like pickleball, golf, playing with the kids in the backyard, or things you hate like yard work or a workout. If you pull a muscle, if you twist your back, if you break something, Precision Sports Medicine can get you back on track. Comprehensive care helping you keep up with life. Make your appointment today. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. Locations all over the Birmingham area. You can find one right now. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. Top 25 preseason teams you should never trust. That's next on the next round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
I want to give a shout out to a guy named Eric McKinney. Eric McKinney, big Alabama fan, and sent a message through a friend of ours. I don't know if Eric's not on social media or anything, has no way of contacting us, but sent a message, said, please tell Dunaway, Brown, and LT and Rockstar I'm a huge fan. I'd love to get to know them. In a couple of weeks, I'm not going to be able to watch as much, but I'll do my best to keep up. I love those guys and really want to get to know them and just catch up with them sometime. We would love to do that, Eric. And I don't know what the situation is that keeps him from watching live as much, but he says he's going to keep up on demand. So all the best to you, Eric. Thank you for the kind words there. Well, we're going to send Rockstar to have dinner with you. That's what we're going to do.
Let's do it.
What if we just did that? Like you could just randomly... We used to do this thing back in the radio days. I don't know if you guys remember this, where we would go have breakfast with, like, there were 6 or 7 people that could register.
I'm sure there was not uncomfortable conversations.
Oh, it could get really awkward because these are people you're just meeting for the first time, and you're like sitting across the breakfast table from like. So...
Yeah, but Dunaway's really good at that stuff.
I know. Do you remember those? I think it was at Over Easy up here on 280, and we would meet, like, people would register.
Yep.
It's back when we were doing 10 to 2.
I remember we met with like 8 people one time.
I know. I mean, it could get very large, and I mean, I enjoyed getting to know them. But
it felt like the desk on game day.
It did a little bit. Terry, you got to make your pick down there. You're doing the game. Just give us a thought on it. We always love meeting people, and we met so many last night. That was one thing that blew me away, Rockstar, how many members of our audience were there wearing Next Round gear. We always appreciate that. Next Round.
I love that. There was one dude in front of me, and he was like, yeah, we used to play intramurals with Dunaway when he was at Montevallo.
He says he's got stories.
And he was like, we could get in his head so bad. And he was like, Dunaway always wore sweatbands when he was playing basketball and always had eye black on for softball.
2 down, guys. 2 down.
So good.
That is so. Hey, shout out to Eric, man. We appreciate you joining the show. I'm going to tell you who you never trust in the preseason top 25, courtesy of our guy Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports. After Lance tells you who you always trust when it comes time to get that new furniture.
Yeah, I am working on a couple of things right now with our friends at Lanyas. We've been going back and forth. He's sending me some stuff that they actually don't have in the warehouse. That's a great thing about Lanyas Furniture. They can find what you need, and you get great pricing. Our friends at Lanyas Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Lanyas offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, mattresses, and much more. Lanyas can also help you with your home design and decorating. They've got that 3-week event going on right now, store-wide savings. You can transform your home into a beautiful escape with new furniture and decor pieces, from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Lanyas has everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Bring the sun inside with Lanyas Furniture. Save up to 10% store-wide or special financing, plus tons of hot buys throughout the store. From Birmingham, take exit 280 off of I-65, the Hallmark Farms exit. Go south on U.S. Highway 31 for 1.3 miles. Lanyas is going to be right there on your right. Get in, see John, Reggie, the fine folks there. 205-647-4311. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you.
See, that guy gets it. That guy in the chat room gets it. In the mybookie.ag chat room. It must be weird to meet us. We know so much about y'all, and we feel we know you, but you're just meeting us. It's a weird dynamic. 100%. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, the chat helps it along because you get some people's sarcastic senses of humor.
That's
you
right.
See, like, this guy's sick, this guy's to the point, but you can see
this guy's miserable.
Yeah, like, so you can kind of see, like, okay, I know this guy's vibe. So that it helps a little bit, but it is a little bit awkward because.
No, Rod was the guy that I had a couple conversations with a couple of guys last night, but Rod, getting to know him, he really good personality.
Big Dodgers fan, right?
No, that was the other guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the guy sitting right in front of me. Yeah. Okay, Rod was the one sitting down to the left. Okay,
he was the one that knew Dunaway.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I only got to briefly speak to him on the way out.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember my Dodger fan. It was funny.
Steven, right?
Yeah, I think it was
Steven is his name.
He was like, meet my wife. I mean, my daughter.
Yeah, he made that change quick. Yeah.
Like my girlfriend, my wife. I mean, my wife.
No.
No, I absolutely love getting that dynamic and that perspective because they'll bring up things that I haven't thought about in years and years and years.
Yeah.
And it's great having those conversations.
But that guy is right. I mean, if you guys have been with the show from day one, I mean, you've been with us 13 years, you know pretty much everything about us, and we're just meeting you for the first time. So it is a weird dynamic.
Yeah, if you ever see us, man, I love having those conversations.
Absolutely. Like I saw somebody in the chat room earlier in the mybookie.ag chat room said he saw me at lunch yesterday. I met a friend for lunch, and he said I just didn't go up and talk to him. Please do. I mean, I'd love to talk to you. Trust me, I'm not doing anything important enough that you're interrupting if I'm at lunch with somebody, right? I'm normally just hanging out talking sports or golf or something like that.
Might have been interesting if you would have introduced him to who you
could have
went
been.
to lunch with.
That's okay though. Yeah, I probably would have done that maybe. All right, so 24/7 Sports. Brad Crawford. You made that sound so wrong. Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports, has gone back to 2010.
It was a male, by the way.
It was a male, yes. 2010. He's going back to 2010. So how many seasons, if we go back to 2010, what are we considering?
13 seasons. 14, because 2010 would be one of those. So it'd be 14
that's true. 14 full
seasons.
seasons. 14 full seasons. And he's taken, how many times has a team started preseason top 25 and finish unranked? So these are teams he's like, don't trust them in the preseason top 5.
So is it certain programs or just okay.
These are certain programs. And we do this every year. If you'll remember when the AP top 25 comes
and you're
out,
like, there's just no way that
there's
team's not going to
this
be ranked.
stat every year that there's always teams that start ranked, finish unranked, but there's always a top 10 team that starts top 10 and finishes unranked. And every year we do it, we're like, look, it's not going to happen this year. We can't find one. And guess what? Every year it happens. But these are just top 25 teams. How many times have they started top 25 and finished outside? So in 14 years, 3 teams have done this 4 times. And these are big names. These names are going to be like, okay, I guess so.
I'm just going to take a flyer. Florida State.
Florida State is not one of them. Texas has 4 times in 14 years started top 25 and finished unranked.
Tennessee.
Georgia. This is old school. Keep in mind, this goes back to 2010. Georgia, 4 times, but only once, Brad points out, during Kirby Smart's tenure has this happened.
So that was year 1?
Yeah, 3 of those are on the shoulder of Mark Richt. And the Auburn Tigers.
Okay, go back through them.
Okay, Georgia.
Okay, Georgia.
Texas,
obviously,
Auburn. All right.
Okay, those 3 will definitely be ranked.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and who was the 4th?
Oh, you think Auburn will be ranked?
No.
Yeah.
No, let me take
Texas, Georgia, and Auburn. Those are the only 3.
Yeah, Texas and Georgia, obviously top 5.
Texas, Georgia are going to be top 5, and this is just top 25.
Yeah, Auburn will not be ranked.
Okay. At 5, TCU. 5 times in 14 years, they have started ranked and finished unranked. And keep in mind, last year they started number 17 after winning playing for the national championship.
Under Gary Patterson, there was a lot of this.
There was.
It really was a lot of up and down, some great seasons, and then some baffling 5 and 7 seasons. TCU will not be ranked this year.
I agree with you completely. Also at 5, Michigan State. 5 times in 14 years they've started in the top 25 and have not been ranked. Mark D'Antonio had some of those, and I think Mel Tucker got one too.
Yeah, probably his third year after the big contract.
Florida, 5 times has started ranked and finished unranked in that 14-year window. I don't know if Florida top 25
no.
start the year? I don't think so either. They could be
and I
Miami
think more
and get there.
so, like, people might believe Napier has got his best squad, best roster.
Yeah.
And they might think they're going to be improved from last year. But when you look at the schedule, you can't find 6 wins.
Yeah, that's so hard.
And I know you do your poll a little bit different than I do my poll. Like, I'm looking at the best teams coming in, but that first poll has got to kind of be where you think the teams are going to finish.
I don't know how else to do it other than say this is who I think are the 25 best teams in America. So if I've got you number 1, I think you're going to finish number 1.
Yeah, you're going to win the national championship, and I can't put Florida in my top 25 knowing that they're going to lose at least 6 games.
And then people hate when you do your poll that way, but I don't know any other way you would do it. Also at number 5, I gave you Florida. So here are teams that are at 6. There are 3 teams at 6. These are the teams that have, most in this window, 14-year window, started in the top 25 and finished outside the top 25. The Wisconsin Badgers, almost half the time, or half those years, have started top 25 and finished unranked. I view them as more of a consistent program than that.
I do
but
too.
6 times it's happened to them.
You weren't really surprised that Wisconsin finished unranked last year in Luke Fickell's first year, but I've got a feeling they're going to be a ranked team this year.
Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher's going to get pinned with some of these. But Texas A&M 6 times in 14 years has started top 25 and finished unranked.
Well, including last year.
Well,
there was a big expectation last year for A&M.
And don't forget, bigger in 2022 when they started the year number 6, as Brad Crawford points out, and finished 5 and 7, fell out. And then last fall, as you mentioned, they started at 23, but boy, it fell apart quickly. And then here's the last one. This is going to hit close to home for you. 6 times USC has started in the top 25. This is inexcusable, by the way. That's one of those USC, Ohio State, Alabama would be inexcusable to be on this list, but they are.
Well, I thought, record, there was a little overachieving in year 1 for Lincoln Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Year 2 at 8 and 5 was kind of unacceptable when you had the Heisman Trophy winner and Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick, coming back. They still received votes, but this is a team that started in the top 10. And they were one of those that finished outside of the top 25.
They met the criteria of the top 10. So 6 times, USC, Texas A&M, and Wisconsin in the last 14 years have started the season in the top 25 and finished unranked. So as you start to look at your projections this year, those are some teams you might not want to trust, and some of those teams should be embarrassed to be on that list. All right, coming up in the next hour, we are going to unveil our 40 and 40 team. We'll jump on the phones. Rockstar's got a song coming up. Lance has got Trash Little T's going to join us for that. So we got a lot to get to. One more hour of the next round.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
This hour of the next round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
This hour is the Champy's Hour. Sterling and the gang there at Champy's. They've thrown the doors open. They are ready to rock and roll there at Champy's. It's lunchtime. And they are there. Champy's world-famous fried chicken, champyschicken.com. Get those great chicken fingers, the po' boys, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, great sides, great drinks. Get a marg for Megan at the bar. They're at Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com. Got a lot of programming coming up today. Don't forget Roll Tide Pods. Mick Gillespie was in town with us. He had a blast at the game last night, dressed to the nines.
Oh, man. He goes all in. Mick is such a fun guy.
He is. I love Mick.
Such a great job. Every and anything Alabama. He's a great play-by-play guy.
But you know what he knows is baseball. Like every one of those guys that comes up, he's like, he came up with so-and-so.
Well, and I kept seeing him run into baseball guys all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, Mick is a well-respected guy in the baseball world, but just a good dude. And every time we're at Floribama, he takes his boat over there. And
Roll Tide Pods, you see he and Jake Coker there with the elephant in the room.
I'll give Mick a lot of credit getting out like that. He said he was going to do it. That would be a bracket challenge loss for me.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But he embraced it. People were loving it, man, getting photos with him and all of that. Also, don't forget War Down Pods, Village Vice, Zach and Brad dropping shows there. The Pennant Grace, Grace McWhorter, Talking Braves with Josh on that one. And then coming up after we're done today, a couple things. First of all, you're going to record some mental health podcasts that we'll have coming
Dr.
out.
Brett
later.
McCabe, Kick Anxiety's Ass. He is the author of that book. He is also he's really the on-site guy for all Alabama athletics. And so we're going to have some special guests. I think we're going to record 3 of those pods today, and those will be going out over the next few weeks with the help of Rockstar and Forster back there. So I've just gotten incredible feedback. It's not the most fun subject to talk about.
It is not, but you guys have done well with it. I've watched them.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's amazing. And I hate this. I mean, I don't know. I embrace it. That how many guys are struggling that reach out to me, random people that I don't know that are our listeners.
Yeah.
And whether they're saying thanks or they're asking me advice and they're seeking a therapist or they're asking about meds, look, we're all here for you.
Yeah.
But I think Dr. Brett McCabe does such a good job of explaining this. Rockstar was involved in a couple of those. And look, a lot of us are going through this right now, man. It's a daily battle. So we're with you. If we can educate you, if we can just help one person, it's all worth it.
I was talking to a guy the other day, and I was telling him part of your story, just the parts you've told on the air about our trip in Indianapolis, what kind of led you to this. And he told me that day was 30 days sober, that he had just hit 30 days sober. And he was just talking about battling demons the way you were battling demons. And
yeah, and we've got some friends. Maddie was at a dinner last night celebrating 70 days sobriety for one of her friends. We've got another guy that I think you might have played golf with him the other day.
Yep.
That just got his 30-day coin last week.
Wow.
So, again, there's a lot of people out there, whether it's substance abuse or if it's just depression or anxiety. These are topics we take deep dives in. I've got professionals. I'm just being traffic cop. I'm asking some questions, but they're coming on and hopefully if you know somebody that's struggling out there, if you're struggling yourself, don't be embarrassed by it. Check it out. Look into these podcasts, listen to them, watch them, and hopefully it can help you out.
And then also don't forget this afternoon, a fresh edition of The Meltdown. Tim Melton and Jon Lunceford, Tyler, they're all there. What is Lunceford going to talk about? He saw the bike riders last night. Lunceford, are you going to cover that on the show today? I don't want to spoil it if you are.
Yes, we will cover that because we have differing opinions on the film.
So when you told me this, you said that Laurel's waiting for Lunceford when we were getting in the Uber.
Yeah, we were getting in the Uber to go to
going to a
Rickwood.
movie, and I says, least surprising thing you've told me. And then you told me it was the bike riders. It sounded very artsy, independent. But then I remember seeing the trailer, and I was just talking to Laurel and Tyler and Lunceford in there about the movie. And it's with Austin Butler. It's with Tom Hardy.
Michael Shannon.
It looks like a bike gang movie that would have a ton of violence in it, which might draw me in, but they say not so much.
Yeah, it's I got a good nap last night.
I was about to say, I don't know that Lunceford could do a full review on this because he didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah, it was easy to fall asleep in. You think something with biker gangs, so there's a lot of motorcycles revving and a lot of fighting and gunshots and stuff. Not a lot of that. Kind of boring.
Man, the only movie I think I've ever fallen asleep in is the Peanuts movie when I took Leighton and Jack.
Man, I'm telling you.
Wasn't that bad of a movie. Wasn't great, but Cord loved it.
I've had some naps in theaters. That's what I was telling Lunceford in the last break when he told me he fell asleep in this movie. I was like, theater's a good place for a nap. It's cold.
Especially nowadays.
Nowadays, like the last movie I went to a movie the other day, saw If. Is that what it was called, Lunceford?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw If. And it was up at the one at the Summit. Everything's recliners now. I mean, I had to fight it through that. And that was a pretty good movie that I had to fight
place
sleeping.
to take, why not just take a nap on your bed or your screen and porch?
I think that the movie is going to be good, and it's not good. So I'm just like, well, I'll go and get a nap out of it.
I was talking to one of our friends at AB last night, and she said, I used to watch baseball a lot. My family grew up in Philadelphia, so I was a Phillies fan. But now baseball is best for me to turn on and take a nap.
Yeah. Oh,
Good
I do
background
that.
noise.
I do that with golf on Sundays. Like
Yeah.
I'll turn the golf on, take me a little nap, wake up and see who wins.
Yeah, golf is great
it's
for it.
fantastic for naps. All right, let's go to JD in Huntsville. He is up next, and then we'll do our 40 and 40 team. What is up, JD? How are you today?
Hey, guys. Y'all having a good summer so far?
Fantastic summer. It's been great.
Good deal. Yeah, you guys are talking about like top 25 teams in the preseason that end up not making it or don't do as well as what everybody thinks. I'd be curious to kind of hear, and you may have mentioned this, like the teams that you really were high on, and then they just didn't do it for whatever reason. So, what are the factors that we usually look at when we're trying to put these things together? We're looking at returning starters, we're looking at maybe how they finished the season before, and then one of the things I don't think we look at enough is sort of the track record of the coach. When I hear guys like Billy Lucci at Texags every year wanting to pump up them, I know he's a fan site, but I'm like, what have they done that makes you think that this is going to be that year? So, I mean, can you guys think of a team that you just totally bombed on? You thought, yeah, I was high, and then, man, they just didn't do it.
Oh, I was in 2006, I think was the year. No, it wasn't 2006, because 2006 I had Louisville playing Michigan for the national championship, and both were a game short.
Yeah.
But it was the year before I think I had Purdue and Tennessee, and both were awful that year.
There was one year I was super bought into Wisconsin, and they were not good. And I'm not going to remember the exact year, but I was all in on Wisconsin playing for the national championship, and I think they ended up like 7-6 or something.
I was really high on Oregon a couple of years ago when they played Ohio State early in the season. I got that right, and I thought they're going to be in the playoff, and then they just, I don't know what happened to them, but they just didn't make it. That was a great game that they were able to beat Ohio State, but just sometimes it just doesn't work out. So why do you think this is though? Do a lot of these like people in the media, we've talked about this, do they kind of use their own what they want to have happen a lot of times when they're making these predictions?
Well, I think you always want to be right. right? I mean, you want to, like, you talk yourself into something and you want to be right. I don't think anybody wants to be wrong. I can't speak for members of the media. I just know when I voted, there were a lot of factors. Obviously, you're going to start at quarterback. What do they have at quarterback? There are coaches I trust and coaches I don't trust, but you can't 100% go by that either. I mean, coaches you don't trust can occasionally, pull one out of nowhere, right? So
you got to look at their schedule.
You definitely have to look at their schedule. If you're doing it the way I did it, when I voted in the AP, my first poll, of the year, I said, I think these are the 25 best teams in America, and I think these are the 25 teams that will end up being the best teams in America. I have to factor schedule into that. Now, there are multiple people in the chat room that will tell me that's the wrong way of doing it. You should not even look at schedule, but I just don't know how else to do that vote. Like if I do a preseason AP poll and I put Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2, I'm saying I think Georgia and Ohio State play for the national championship, and I think Georgia wins the game.
That's the way I do it. Now, you do jump around a lot more after that first week.
I do. Like, to me, it's silly. So here's where I hate polls, JD, is I hate it when somebody does their poll and then they ignore the data they actually get. Like, you got to do the preseason with no data, but then week 1 gives you a set of data, and then week 2 gives you 2 sets of data. And then week 3, and it keeps building, and people are just like, they'll ignore that, and they're like, I've got this team number 1, I'm keeping them number 1. Well, why? The data has told you they don't look like the best team in America.
I know, but the only thing that bothers me, JD, is let's say USC beats LSU, and USC is going to go from unranked to like number 8. That doesn't necessarily mean they're the 8th best team in college football.
But what if they are?
They might be, but I want to see a little bit more.
And that's
it
fine.
Won't shock me. Yeah, it won't shock me if they do. In fact, I was going to ask you, Lance, you seem to be pretty high on LSU and Brian Kelly. I'm not as high on them, and just kind of walk through that a little bit. Like, what is it about what they've got coming up that you think they're going to do so well? Or maybe you don't think that.
Yeah, last year I was really high on LSU. I don't know. The thing I would say, JD, is nobody's talking about LSU. Everybody's talking about Texas, they're talking about Georgia, they're talking about Ole Miss, they're talking about Missouri, they're starting to talk about Tennessee. The sleeper teams to me in the SEC this year could be LSU and Auburn just because nobody's talking about them. Like, I don't know how good Grant Nussmeier is going to be as a 12-game starter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is there's just not any coaches, except for maybe Kirby Smart, that you could look at like we used to look at with Nick Saban and say, doesn't matter about coordinators, doesn't matter who the quarterback is, they're going to be in there. There aren't any teams like that except for maybe Georgia. But I'm going to tell you, Georgia kind of worries me a little bit because they struggled on offense last year when they didn't have Brock Bauer, or when he wasn't healthy, when Ladd McConkey, when he wasn't healthy. I mean, you saw their offense just wasn't clicking even against Georgia Tech. And then, of course, obviously against Bama. Georgia's got to have an elite defense, I think. And their defense was elite in 22. Not as much in last year. Don't know if it's going to be elite this year or not. That'll tell us a story about Georgia.
JD, thank you very much for the call. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I think Georgia's got hard to say their best quarterback since
Stetson Bennett.
Because Stetson Bennett was a complete stud at the end of his career. And, I mean, you can't even go far back with Georgia quarterbacks. I mean, Aaron Murray was great.
Yeah, exactly. So
a great college quarterback. Yeah. But I think Beck is going to be – again, I'm going to go on and predict
You're a big fan of Carson Beck.
I think he is going to be the number 1 overall pick in May.
All right, so speaking of rankings, we ask you to rank your teams in college football. We included some college football analysts as well. A big group of you that applied to be voters, and we selected a group of about 93 voters. And you all picked this team, number 14. It is our mybookie.ag 40 and 40. There's the paw. Meet me at the paw. Clemson, the Clemson Tigers, in at number 14 in the mybookie.ag 40 and 40.
Now, here's the good and bad. The good news is they won 5 straight games to end 2023. The bad news is they were 4-4, and they actually finished. What was it? They've been in the preseason the last 3 years of the top 10.
Okay.
And they haven't finished higher than 13.
Okay, I see. So they've started in the top 10 every year and haven't finished
the
higher
last
than
3, but haven't finished higher than 13.
So they only regress, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and they finished with their worst record since 2011.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The defense should be really, really good. You got basically everybody coming back there. They finished in the top 10 in total D. They led the nation in turnovers at 28. A little disturbing there that Clemson can lead the nation in forced turnovers and lose 4 games in the ACC.
That is hard to believe. I would absolutely agree with you on that. We will not have to wait long into the college football season to know what you got in Clemson. They play early Saturday, Week 1 in Mercedes-Benz Stadium against the Georgia Bulldogs. 11 o'clock kick for Clemson in that game on ABC to start your Saturday of football. We're going to know pretty quick what you got here.
Yeah, and these are those games we used to go into it with Georgia and Clemson. I was like, damn, I think Clemson or Georgia or whoever's got a shot. I don't necessarily think Clemson's got a shot in this game, do you?
Does it feel like they do? No.
If for Garrett Riley in year 2 as the offensive coordinator, coming back with Cade Klubnik starting his year 2, this offense has just got to be a lot better. You lose Will Shipley, and I look at the schedule. They're going to be favored in 10 games.
Yeah.
But there's 4 big-time swing games.
I wanted to do the first 5 weeks because there is a worst-case scenario in the first 5 weeks that they're 2-3.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a worst case.
Be a disaster. They were 2-2 to start the month of September last year.
Yeah, so, Georgia, obviously a game they're probably going to lose. Appalachian State, losable game, but they're going to win that one. Yeah. But after a bye, NC State comes in. That is NC State's probably a slight dog in that one.
Yeah, I would say Clemson 6-7 point favorite in that game. I think Clemson will win that game. It is one of the swing games I talked about. Stanford should be an easy win. Then you go to Tallahassee.
FSU. Yeah, you go to Tallahassee. Tough road game, tough team.
But I look at this. If I'm a Clemson fan, you lose the Georgia game out of conference. I still think if I finish the month of the first 5 games, I should say, because that Florida State game is on October 5th. If I finish that first 5-game stretch at 4-1,
there's the positive side.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you get past Florida State. Now you're at Wake. You're hosting Virginia. You got to buy
favored.
You're hosting Louisville. You're at Virginia Tech. Tough game there.
But favored.
You're at Pitt.
Favored.
You've got Citadel, and you're hosting South Carolina.
Yeah, you've got an outstanding shot of 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get out of the first 5 games at 4-1, and I think 11-1 playing for the ACC championship. Could they lose that game 11-2 and still get into a college football playoff with their brand?
Who are their wins?
Well,
or who are their losses?
It would be Georgia and then whoever they play in the ACC championship game. So it's probably 2 top 10 losses, though.
Yeah.
But I don't know where the wins are.
The problem there is it could be 2 losses to Florida State. Now, it's going to be hard to justify if they've lost to Florida State twice.
But if that's Miami the first time they play them, and Miami's a top 10 team.
If it's a loss to – but then what's Florida State's record,
Yeah, I would say, though, that
Clemson head-to-head.
If Clemson goes – and I guess it's in Charlotte again, right? The ACC championship game.
Yes.
If they go 11-1 and they play in that game, I would feel pretty good as a Clemson fan about going to a college football playoff.
I would like my chances, yeah. All right, that is our MyBookie.ag 40-40. You heard Lance say favored at the end of that schedule for Clemson. You can play all those games when they come around at MyBookie.ag. Just use code NEXTROUND when you sign on. Get that great sign-on bonus from MyBookie.ag by using code NEXTROUND. And you can also participate in their VIP program, loyalty program. Man, they do so much for you there. MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. We enter our top 13. That was number 14. We start 13 on Monday. We're closing in on that top 10. We're counting down to SEC Media Days. That should indicate to you how close we are to SEC Media Days. We'll have a few days off for the July the 4th. And then SEC Media Days less than a month away in Dallas. When we'll be out there talking about college football 24/7 there in Dallas. And for a lot of people, that feels like, hey, it's almost football season when the shows are out at SEC Media Days. In fact, you're still almost a month and a half away, but we'll still be there, and we'll have some fun doing it. All right, Lance's Lock brought to you every single day by Hemp Hill. Hemp Hill Services brings you Lance's Lock. Some Major League Baseball on the docket tonight.
Yeah, we've got 2 plays today, including that Braves-Yankees matchup in New York tonight. First time those teams have matched up this year. Chris Sale on the hill for the Braves, for the Braves. I think I might have forced the game last night at Rickwood.
Did you? You just wanted to have a play on that?
I had a play on it with the Giants. They lose at 6-5. It was the only loser last night, so 1 run away from the perfect night. But jump on board, lanceslock.com. And our friends at Hemp Hill, if you're having any kind of issues with the AC, again, I had a friend call me a couple of days ago, thought the AC unit was out. I called up Andrew, sent his team out. Within hours, they got out there, and they were like, you know what? You don't need a new unit. We're just going to put this piece on here. Cost them, mere cents on the dollar compared to what you would have to pay for a new AC unit. That is the trust. That is the integrity you get from our guys at Hemp Hill. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Rockstar is going to hit that big button. Little T going to join us for a little trash. That is next on the next round.
Follow Jon Lunceford on Twitter @jlunce.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
We continue on the next round. It's almost time for trash. Little T has moved into the chair there. You were at the game last night. What was your experience?
It was
You're not
awesome.
the biggest baseball fan in the world.
I'm not. I don't care a ton about the MLB, but it was cool to experience.
Yeah.
It was a good environment, and I didn't see Rickwood. Like, I haven't seen it in the past, but it seems like I saw a time lapse of the renovations that they did.
Yeah.
I think it was the MLB that posted it earlier. It was just cool that they brought that
Was
back.
it number $8 million they put into it?
I saw, it's part of the telecast I watched, they said 5. I thought it was more than 5. But I mean, $5 million could go a long way.
Yeah, I mean, especially out there. I mean, that's not a big venue.
Yeah, they had to redo the entire fill, which is not cheap to do, obviously.
I love Little T was like, hey, I'm going to get something to eat. And she comes back. She has not 1, not 2, but 3 condiments.
Yeah.
Double ranch, right?
Yeah. They said, would you like 1 ranch or 1 comeback sauce? And I said, I would like 2 ranches and 1 comeback sauce, please.
That was
Thank
not an
you.
option, man. That comeback sauce had some kick to it. I don't know what restaurant was doing those burgers.
You ate every bit of your condiments, too.
Yeah, it's borderline disgusting how much sauce I eat. It was 2 chicken fingers. and fries, and I ate 3 full sauces, which is probably a problem that I need to figure out soon.
Have you well, I mean, look, you love ranch as much or more than I love mayonnaise, but have you figured out how to make your own ranch?
No, I haven't. I've never tried. I love Odie's. Odie's has
there it
great
is.
ranch.
So you took a picture?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I posted it on Twitter and I said the key to my heart, chicken fingers and ranch.
And ranch.
And someone was like, what MLB team? And I was like, no, I'm not talking about the MLB team. I'm talking about the ranch.
Chicken fingers and ranch. I don't care about the Cardinals and Giants.
I will say, I don't know if we did enough in this market of promoting this game, because there was a lot of people that didn't realize the game was happening until like a day or two before.
That's hard for me to believe, but I guess that's true.
Well, I mean, because of what we do, we're more on top of it than our relationship with Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah. But, I mean, as many people as hit me up for tickets, I would just assume that a lot of people knew this game was going.
That's the thing. So it's not like it was a need to sell tickets. So it's not like they're going to advertise this game.
Right. Wait, for anyone in the chat room, everyone's saying, or not everyone, but people are saying that they have, Keith said that his daughter makes homemade ranch. If anyone has a great recipe that's not hard, please send it to me.
I love Maddie does it.
That's what. Okay, you've told me that before.
And she keeps. There's a container all the time in the refrigerator, and it's incredible. And like, the last thing I need with my pizza is ranch, but I seem like I dip almost everything in ranch now. I feel like
I don't need that, but I would like it.
At TaylorKorntnr is where you find Taylor on Twitter, and
please.
You can send a little tea or ranch recipe. When you go to a restaurant and they say it's homemade ranch, I get excited.
Yeah, I do too, because you can tell. I don't really like the Hidden Valley stuff anymore.
It's so thick. Like I don't like my ranch liquidy, but I like it more liquidy than thick. If that makes sense.
Yes, I agree.
I like it almost a perfect consistency.
Which is what? What's perfect?
I mean, between liquidy and thick.
That's pretty much what I'm saying. Yeah. But if I had to err to a side, it would be more
thickity.
Thickity.
Well, because the thick is more blue cheese.
What?
That's true, and I'm not a big blue cheese fan.
Yeah, I mean, when you get wings, they'll offer you blue cheese or ranch.
Yes, I've tried Google, but if someone has a home recipe, please share.
And when I get a wedge at a restaurant, I ask them to replace the blue cheese with ranch. I like ranch on a wedge.
Is that the dressing for
I think your default dressing on a wedge is blue cheese.
Okay.
Blue cheese with Rockstar's favorite. You've got little
nasty,
actually clumps of blue cheese on there.
Smells like what, Rockstar?
One tablespoon of ranch has 8 grams of fat.
You don't worry about that. When you're eating dressing, you don't worry about that.
No.
All right, Rockstar, if you will, please hit that big old button. It's time for trash.
Another time I was watching a TikTok about Beyonce and someone in the comments said, "When's her birthday? Google it. Google it. Google it. Google it. Google it. Google it. Google is free. Google it." What the asking us for? By the time someone responded to you, you could have been Googled it.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
It is home buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While their area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information by going to their website, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call that 280 location in Birmingham, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. We start first in Tasmania. Do you know where Tasmania is?
Nope.
They got the Devils.
That's what I was about to say. That's the only thing I know about Tasmania.
The Tasmania Devil?
Yep.
It's
one of my least favorite cartoon characters.
How many miles south of Australia it is? It's an island off the south coast of Australia. But Tasmania has launched an odd jobs initiative to boost tourism during its winter months. Now, the island state offering people the opportunity to swap the, quote, daily grind of their job for the unusual temporary role during the off-season. Paranormal investigator, wombat walker, and stargazer are among the 10 jobs being advertised.
I'd take the stargazer. Just sit outside at night and look at stars?
I would sleep on the job.
Well, absolutely.
Would you walk a wombat?
Doesn't sound
I
fun.
don't know.
A wombat is a...
It's a marsupial.
Marsupial? Is that a wombat on the screen, Rockstar?
Could be, because it looks like smaller than a kangaroo.
Yeah.
Now, while the positions are unpaid, that's a no-go right there. Successful applicants will have all of their expenses, including travel, food, and hotels, covered by the Tasmanian Tourist Board. Actually, I take that back. I mean, like if you were fresh out of college or, you were independently wealthy, this would be pretty fun.
Yeah, if you were independently wealthy.
I guess
then
you
don't make money.
Yeah. The paranormal investigator role is voluntary and just for one day. Another role is a oyster organizer, which entails sorting, cleaning, and categorizing oysters freshly harvested from the Great Oyster Bay.
So the paranormal investigator's a one-day job.
We think it's going to be on Tuesday. And if it's not, screw it.
Did you find him? Nope. All right. Thanks for your service.
Train enthusiasts are invited to apply for the puffer nut roll. Another one-day job in which the applicant will join the crew of the Lunceford Express steam train as it travels along the Tasmanian West
The
Coast.
old puffer nut train.
Also being sought are stargazers interested in joining Tasmania's looking to observe the skies. There are also
That's a
jobs
stargazer.
for
That's what I
truffle hunters, wine whisperers,
Ooh,
and
I'll be a
wombat
wine
walkers.
whisperer.
I love this wine.
This one's good.
It's fantastic.
Australia's got some good wines.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Okay, so I forgot the first time we talked about this. Maybe Winnie the Pooh. When creative
Mickey Mouse this year.
Okay, when creative works enter the public domain, anyone can enjoy and interact with them without legal repercussions. Copyright durations may vary, but generally last 70 years after the author's death or 95 years after the first publication. Here are the next ones up. 2025 Popeye. Never see Popeye anymore. Never hear about Popeye.
I used to watch it when I was a kid. I didn't hate Popeye.
I don't know him.
You've never
You
heard
don't
of
know Popeye the Sailor Man?
Nope.
All right, let's
Damn
hang on.
good chicken recipe.
He does. He loves homemade ranch. Popeye got his strength from something. What do you think it was?
Just take a guess.
He had to eat something to get his strength. What was it?
Popcorn. I don't know.
That's so close.
Does it have to do with
I
his
wonder.
name?
No.
So I'll tell you this. I used to eat it out of a can when I was a kid, which is
Spam.
crazy.
No, and they would have his brand. Did you his brand?
I
out of
didn't
the
have
can?
his brand. I had it was a silver can brand. I forgot what it was called. I think it started with an L. But if we gave you 10 guesses, you think you could get this?
All right, you've got
It
one.
came out of a can?
Yeah, it came out of a can.
And it's something that normally doesn't come out of a can.
No,
not really.
No, not really.
But it's probably easier out of a can.
I'll give you a hint. They're probably trying to inspire kids to eat something to make they get.
It is a vegetable.
Brussels sprouts.
No.
Broccoli.
No.
Green beans.
No. But boy, you
Boy,
were on the right
all
track.
over it.
You were all over it.
Asparagus.
No. It makes your pee stink. Asparagus makes your pee stink. That was not a hint.
I'm on the right track with
You
broccoli.
are. You got.
I mean,
it.
you have hit.
I mean, you're all
everyone.
around.
I would think in its family.
Oh, no, that doesn't make sense.
Go ahead and say
Lettuce.
it. Though. Lettuce. Is
Lima bean.
Still close. Oh my gosh.
Spinach.
Yeah, you got it.
Damn, you went straight. You went 8 greens.
I know.
Legitimately.
Yeah, because when you said your parents try and make you eat it, I
Yeah.
feel like that's everything green.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you didn't know that until just now.
Yeah, I thought that you were going to bring up the Popeyes chicken mascot or something. I don't know.
Okay, so Popeye coming up in 2025. Betty Boop 2026.
She was a looker. Betty Boop was.
She's a little
that did the
scandalous.
voice?
Where's her neck?
She doesn't have one.
The woman who provided the voice?
Betty Boop?
Yeah.
Sophia Loren.
No, Aunt Bethany from
Oh, that's right.
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation. That was a dead hit, by the way. Good shot.
2028 Goofy.
You've
seen Goofy, right?
I've seen Goofy.
He's
some big ass shoes.
He does have big feet.
Yeah, he does. 2029 Donald Duck and King Kong.
What was that?
Wait, that is so good.
Oh, thank you, little T. Rockstar was making fun of
I
it.
think I would rather have the King Kong rights.
The Donald Duck?
I think so.
I don't know. Donald Duck's one of the big four Disney.
King
though.
Kong just slinging that blonde around.
Kong's grown a little bit the past 80 years.
He has.
In 2034, I'd probably rather have this one than any of them. Superman.
Yeah, I feel like that'll never go away.
Yeah.
2035, neither one of these will either. Batman and Bugs Bunny. 2036, The Joker and Captain America.
Ooh, wow.
And finally, 2037, Wonder Woman.
You don't see a lot of Wonder Woman anymore.
No, you really don't.
Boy, I used to Linda Evans back in the day.
You know, I had this question when I went
I do that every single time, too, don't I?
I went to Comic-Con. Why are there no Avengers with blonde hair? Like women with blonde hair, Avengers.
Are there not?
I don't think so.
Well, that Wonder Woman's got blue hair. That one does.
I don't know. That's a good question.
The light's shining on her.
Oh.
Okay, a woman from southern India has told the story of how she ordered an Xbox controller, but when she opened the parcel, it turned out came with a major surprise. A potentially deadly snake.
Oh, surprise.
Now, the woman named Tanvi has posted a video of the snake and says she's now looking for legal advice on what to do next as she slammed Amazon's packaging process on social media. Now, the video clearly shows a live snake moving despite being stuck to the tape around the box, which has been placed in what looks like a container. Tanvi said the snake has been identified as a spectacled. What is this? Speckled. I don't know. Cobra. Anyway.
Cobra
with spots. How about that?
Cobra is the main main thing in there.
Isn't that the strangler?
No, that's a boa constrictor or a python. The Cobra's the one that...
Cobra's got the hood.
Yeah,
stands straight up. One of the most poisonous snakes.
Like this.
And you've got the snake charmers.
Hey, and I used to think when I was a kid, all right, this is so random, but...
Would you take the mongoose or the cobra?
Ricky Ticky Tabby, man.
Yeah, he was quick.
I don't know.
He's good mongoose.
That's the way Bullet moves, by the way.
When I was a kid, all right, so Mr. Yarbrough used to come do the snake shows in the Calhoun County schools. He'd bring all his snakes and show them in an assembly. Oh, it was the best assembly of the year. We look forward to it every year now. I lived in Calhoun County. I wasn't like,
Did you have Blue Indian or Blue Corn? What was his name?
Blue Corn.
Isn't that a new thing?
Oh, I don't know.
Like my kids would have this Indian that would come out of the woods. I think they called him Blue Corn.
Oh, yeah. No, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
Come out of the woods.
Am I dreaming this? Is this like one of my fever dreams?
Oh.
Way too many edibles one night.
So, but no, he would bring the Cobra. But when I was a kid, I used to watch G.I. Joe, and you had the Cobra. And like,
it was Snake Eyes, wasn't it?
Snake Eyes, but they had that Cobra, and I think like some sort of not steam, but like gas would come out of the hood. And I used to think a real Cobra could do that. Like I don't know, but I was a little kid, okay? But I used to think a real Cobra
that was
like
the movie, the '85 G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah, so I was 10, so I wasn't too old.
My grandfather, who's passed away a few years ago, but Maplesville, Alabama, swore. I remember being a kid, and he's like, we saw a cobra out on the farm. Like, they thought it got loose from like a carnival or a circus.
Yeah.
He was like, it raised its hood up and everything.
Wait, I have to find this picture. I don't have my phone in here, but I'll find it after the show. There's a girl that I went to Auburn with, and it was during COVID, I think, because everyone was at home. And they walked out in their front yard, and it was the largest snake I have ever seen on any sort of fake anything in their front yard. And then I think they went inside to like call someone or figure out what to do, and they went outside. Gone.
That's not what you want. You don't want it to be gone.
No.
I want to keep eyes on that.
Yeah.
Cobra Commander was who I was talking about.
But if it's a rat snake, you don't want to do anything with it.
No, you want to kill them all. Yeah. I do. I do not feel good about a snake anywhere by my house.
Generally on snakes in my yard. Now, snakes out in the wild, I'll let them go. Snakes in my yard, I kill them all and let God sort them out. I mean... And people will tell you don't kill a rat snake.
Yeah,
keep stuff.
Those are friendly now, they help the environment.
I just let God sort them out.
Well, luckily nobody got hurt in this. It didn't mean there was a little drama involved. Amazon's customer support, according to Tanvi, put them on hold for 2 hours, forcing us to handle the situation all by ourselves in the middle of the night. Why would you open a package in the middle of the night?
Wait. So it wasn't stuck to the tape on the outside. It was inside the box. It was
inside the box.
Yeah. Okay, I would lose it.
There was a bad 80s movie called Black Mamba, and I forgot the exact premise, but they sent a Black Mamba in a box to somebody. When he opened it, the Black Mamba got out, killed him, and then it started going around killing different people. Does that sound like a winner?
It does.
I'm just kind of sucked in, actually.
Now, they did say they got a complete refund, but she went on to say, what do we get for risking our lives with a highly venomous snake? I mean, there is no way this snake was in that box. Yeah.
You think that she got it from the outside and planted it?
I don't know.
This is a very narrow part of our audience is going to get Troy's joke here in the chat room, but he says some cobras put that hawk tua on
God.
Oh, you got it too? You've seen it? Yeah. How drunk is that girl?
She's a sensation.
She's got merch out now.
Oh, someone painted a portrait.
That one redneck girl?
Yes, the Hawk
from the video.
Girl from the video's got merch out. I can't believe anybody would wear that merch, but people will, I'm sure.
I think we've sent a couple of things that were better than that out, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It's just what catches on.
I know. You never know.
Celebrity basketball tournament featuring scantily clad women that was scheduled to be held at the Newark Public High School next month has been canceled. According to a district official, the event called Nuttin' But As.
I literally read about this morning.
You see a cool logo. Y'all talking about
they got a logo.
Oh, yes.
Yes. That wins the day. Sorry. Who was the guy that created our MLB logo?
God, I forgot his name.
Anyway, this is supposed to be hosted by celebrity music manager Big Fendi on July 21st at Westside High School. Big Fendi, who is credited with discovering Nicki Minaj, and that's a very Nicki Minaj backside.
It is.
Previously managed the rapper. In a video posted to Instagram, Big Fendi issued a public apology to the city, the high school's principal, and the Newark City Council, who represents the West Ward. Big Fendi went on to say, quote, "We were doing an event and then, things went a little left, got out of control. I will take full responsibility for that because you guys had no knowledge of these girls would be wearing in this celebrity game."
Oh, did y'all? I saw when I read about it this morning, it was announcing that it was canceled as well. But it said that I guess they shot a promotional video.
Yeah, we couldn't show that. It's a little rough.
Yeah. Oh,
Was it really?
Well, I didn't see the video. I saw a description
There's
of
some
it.
thicker girls. Cardi B. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, they went into the high school gym, minimally clothed, and shot this promo video, and I guess sent it out.
Can you imagine in the background, you see Dunaway warming up for his challenge.
Trying to do his challenge.
If you're going to a tournament called Nothing But Ass, don't you kind of know what you're walking into?
You know what you're getting into.
I mean, especially if you see that logo.
Yeah.
That is trash, and it is brought to you by.
This would actually be a good promotional stunt for a local strip club, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Probably so.
It is brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. If you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help, whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buyer. Their low rates and great service make the process so easy. So whether you're looking for your final home or first home, whether you have a big down payment or 100% financing is what you need, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for all mortgage. Visit them online, mortgageright.com/TNR, or call 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Riley says LT is always selling, isn't
Trying,
he?
man.
He is.
I'm an idea man. That's all I am.
Yeah. I'm just simple
I'm just spitballing. I'm just spitballing.
Have you ever heard that?
So many times. It's like a borderline risque idea. I'm just spitballing before anyone can say anything negative.
Just an idea. You going to stay in here for Rockstar in the Lounge, little T?
Yeah, I'll stay.
All right. So Rockstar is going to jump in and do a song in the lounge, and we will do that presented by Floribama next. A reminder, this hour presented by Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Swing by, grab lunch. You can find more champy'schicken.com. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling is one of the best dudes alive, man. He's going to keep you fed down there with his great chicken fingers, the Mississippi Delta tamales, po' boys, great sides. champy'schicken.com, champy'schicken.com. Rockstar sings us to the weekend next.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
All right, we continue on the next round. We're about to jump into the lounge, the Floribama Lounge with Rockstar. Before we do that, a reminder again about Hemp Hill Services. As the temperatures rise, you want to make sure that AC is running right.
Yeah, I think it's going to hit 96, 97 around where we are here in Birmingham this weekend. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Call Adam, Chan, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
All right, the Rockstar is in here.
Morning.
And he is always sponsored by the Floribama Lounge. And that lounge is just not a good thing to call that. What do we call Floribama? He does the Floribama Lounge. We call Floribama the world's greatest
The place to be.
place to be, beach bar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say a dive bar because it's not a dive. It's
bar.
like a massive dive, the biggest dive bar you'll ever go into.
It really is. But Rockstar is presented by Floribama, and they got stuff all weekend long, every single weekend in the summer.
Yeah, they do. Just to let you know, this weekend, Big Earl is going to be back tonight at 5:30, tomorrow night at 5:30. You've seen Big Earl, haven't you?
Yes, and I also... Actually, no, I don't want to start telling a long story. Y'all, continue.
Okay.
How long is it going to be?
Make plans for the 4th of July at the Bama, Floribama's Freedom Run on Saturday, 4-mile run or a 1-mile walk. Miss Firecracker Bikini Contest at 3 o'clock.
Please let Dunaway judge.
Got it.
Ladies, register online at floribama.com for a chance to win $500 and come back to compete on the Labor Day weekend for the grand prize of $5,000. Bushwhackers are waiting for you at Floribama, floribama.com for more information.
All right. Do you want to tell your story before Rockstar goes? Is it a long story?
Yes, but I'll tell another one. One of my friends was actually there last weekend. It still pertains. At the Floribama, and she posted a picture on her Snapchat story.
And you saw an extra sticker in the background?
Yes. I was like, that's Lance's hard work and dedication.
No,
these are the things that might go unnoticed. You know, job description. I do a few things up here, but sticker
on the wall.
You and I are the sticker people.
Yeah. But every single time that I have friends there that will just be taking videos of something, I always spot a sticker.
I left some behind in Austin. Anywhere I went that had stickers up, my little one, Hallie, we put them. I showed you a picture. She was putting one on, yeah. So I left some behind in Austin, but there was somebody sent us a photo of a sticker, and it said the vertical it took to get this sticker up was very impressive. Whoever did it,
yeah. I remember. I think I couldn't tell exactly where that was from.
Yeah, Melton's reaching down.
There were a couple of times where I had to jump to put sticker up.
Yeah.
There were times in the bathroom where I would actually get on counter to put sticker up because there's some that haven't been touched that I don't know if they really can be touched. You would have to go out of your way.
That's right.
To take those down.
Yeah. All right, Rockstar is in here for the lounge. What you thinking here, Rockstar?
I'm thinking life. But musically?
Back in 3rd grade.
Musically, let's go just something random. Little Stone Temple Pilots. A very underrated Unplugged show they did where Scott Weiland was crazy. He had to sit in a rocking chair the whole time.
Why?
No, I want to be in a rocking chair.
Okay.
Like a Cracker Barrel walking chair.
Man, I remember him doing a spring break thing at MTV, and he was like sweating profusely.
Yeah, he has some issues.
You know, he had the eyeliner on.
Early, I think that was probably around.
Wearing a dress.
Yeah, they did Kiss concert. They would wear Kiss makeup, and
he had some incredible stories from prison.
Yeah, he's got a.
How long did he do?
I don't know, just a couple of years.
Yeah.
Enough.
There's a bunch of articles about he's like one of the lead guys that just gets forgotten because of the Seattle scene, and like of course he was a director like Velvet Revolver and Stone Temple Pilots, and
I would put Stone Temple Pilots almost at the top of that whole.
Well, because he was such a good front man. He was one of those ones that would just wear outrageous outfits and the eyeliner and stuff like that. He was a legit front man.
You like Interstate Song?
Interstate Love Song? I do love that song. It's a good This is the second album. That's off Purple. This was off the Core album.
Okay.
This is called Cracker Man.
Cracker Man. All right, Rockstar.
This is going to be the Unplugged version. So.
Okay, good.
kicking as I'm trying to sleep. I got the mud beneath my shoes. Rubber band, gun in hand, and I wanna use. Wrong man, wrong, get away, I gotta get away. And I think too much. I don't care, yeah, but I don't care. Wrong man, wrong, get away, I gotta get away. And I think too much. Tripping as I'm thinking about a boy, his name was Sue. He's a man, crack a man, he's a woman too. Wrong, get away, I gotta get away. And I think too much. I don't care, yeah, but I don't care. Wrong man, wrong, get away, I gotta get away. And I think too much. And I'm thinking, well, I don't think it. I gotta get away. And I think too much. And I don't care, yeah, but I don't care. Wrong man, wrong, get away, I gotta get away. And I think too much. And I'm thinking, I don't think it. And I'm thinking, salt crack, mud flaps, dust blowing in my eyes, and I'm a-rolling.
Bravo.
Yeah, such a strange song too.
I have heard you do a lot of STP though.
Yeah, Scott's a little in there. Not Forster.
Scott Forster's perfectly normal
out there. But yeah, just an interesting tune. He would use a bullhorn in between each verse. So
he's an odd one. So you've heard him do a lot of STP?
I've heard Rockstar. Yeah.
So you're is that one of your go-tos?
I don't play that one a lot.
No,
not just STP overall.
Interstate Love Song and Plush. I play those all the time.
Plush you do.
Sour Girl.
Yeah.
They're the ones that people
as
know.
much as you guys have seen Rockstar, I've probably seen him the most.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt you have, yeah.
And back when he used to play venues for 3 people. I remember you played
when I used to
I remember you played Barrister's Tavern and there was literally not one person there.
Is that the one up on the hill, the old Days Inn or whatever?
I loved it because I was literally across the street. My house, my apartment was right there, and I was like, but then I was like, ooh, and even though there's nobody there, everybody smoked, and I was just like, this is ridiculous.
I thought about you when I let me set this up first.
All right, here we go.
Thought about Rockstar when I was watching Baby Reindeer.
Okay,
all right.
Because
let's expand that thought.
Yeah, if anybody's seen it, they're going to want to know why. You've seen it, haven't you, Tyler?
I haven't. I've just heard,
I know
heard
Scott,
what happens in it.
Scott in the back has seen it. So when he starts doing his stand-up comedy, he's going in a bar, basically making them turn the televisions off of the soccer matches where he can do comedy. Nobody wants to see him.
Oh, that's even better. That'll make people more happy.
And he has to build this up. But, the first, I don't know how many times, he's doing it basically to nobody. And he's standing there with a tip jar at the end, and nobody's giving him anything.
Aww.
It reminded me of me.
And it reminded, wait.
Well, no, I mean, when Rockstar, we were doing a show, and, it was a smaller following on Jocks, 20 years ago. And so he was out, still trying to make his way as a musician and earn, make ends meet. And he was just playing any venue you could go to. And, there's a lot of times people just They didn't care anything about live music.
Yeah.
I've had people put the chairs on the bars, staff like starting to wipe tables down. I'm still playing. I've got to tell me to get up so he can sweep beneath my legs while I'm playing.
What?
Yeah, you play a lot of nothings. A lot of dress rehearsals is what I call them.
Yeah, we went to Floribama recently. Speaking of the Floribama.
Speaking of which, they bring you this.
Yeah, I met Steve and Patty across at Old River Grill. And when we met them, when we had just gotten in town, they wanted to go see this one musician, and they were the only two people sitting there under Old River Grill, and this is like a Thursday night.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, now maybe it built after that. We stayed for like 30 minutes, but we were the only people there, so musicians do it all the time.
That's uncomfortable.
But Big Earl, I guarantee you it will be packed for Big Earl tonight at 5:30 on the Dome stage, tomorrow night at 5:30. Remember the 4th of July, Miss Firecracker Bikini Contest, 3 o'clock, 4-mile run, 1-mile walk. Ladies can register online, floribama.com, for a chance to win $500 and compete Labor Day weekend for $5,000. Bushwhackers waiting on you. Floribama.com, more information.
Great job, Rockstar. Thank you, Floribama. We end the show with a bit of breaking news on the recruiting side. 4-star running back Alvin Henderson has flipped his commitment from Penn State to Auburn. According to all the recruiting sites, he's a 4-star running back that has flipped from Penn State to Auburn.
Yo, I see ya.
He sees those tweets. That's Alvin Henderson going to be an Auburn Tiger. Thank you for a great week of the next round. We will be out at Trustville Social. Come by and see us 3 to 5 this afternoon. Trustville Social, 3 to 5. If you can't be there, be back here 9 o'clock Monday. We'll see you. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us on the next round.